Deathwatch.
Welcome to the Nameless Horror, Call of Cthulhu 7th Edition Investigation by Deathwatch Productions. Our investigators are in the small eastern Pennsylvania town of Stowell, each for their own reasons, and that's where we will rejoin them. First, we will introduce our investigators, starting with Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing Oscar Herman, a military veteran who was recruited by the FBI, unbeknownst to my companions, and I'm currently investigating this town at the behest of a person I believe to be a member of the Wipers Pals, a group I'm attempting to infiltrate.
Hello, I'm Travis, and I'm playing Rob Wolf. Rumble Rob's what they called me, Missouri, or former heavyweight champion of Missouri. Sometimes when bad things happen, they happen on a clear day with the sun shining, just a sucker punch as you walk by. Matter of fact, it happens that way a lot of the time. Other times you see the wind-up from a mile away. I think today's gonna be one of the latter. It's a little weird. I'm driving a car, following a coroner to who knows where, and I'm not the guy to be doing that, but here I am.
And I'm John, playing Tony Ray Spates as a ex-Boston PD, now bounty hunter, that is coming to the small town to look for a book for my employer, and I'm pretty sad that we're probably going to have to find a different place to stay while we're here.
That's right, because at the in the last session, the woman who owns the boarding house that you were all staying at, Petunia, has disappeared, and there's ample evidence to suggest that she was abducted sometime in the night. But the session, at the end of last session, the Deputy Alexander had burst onto the scene whilst you were wrestling with an intruder in the house, and he shot that intruder multiple times in the head. And then a man who absolutely did not have the bearing of a coroner, driving a vehicle that absolutely is not official county coroner vehicle, came and collected the body without an ounce of professionalism by rolling it in a tarp and throwing it in the back of his truck, and then left. At this point, Rob and Oscar started following that truck in Oscar's car with Rob driving. And Tony stayed behind at Petunia's house and noticed that Deputy Alexander could not have been less interested in the whole affair. And as the deputy left, Tony heard him say, "Freddie will take care of the body." And then the deputy drove away, leaving Tony at the home there. So that's where we'll pick things back up. So, Rob, you're driving in this car, following the truck, and it's driving east down the quiet streets on the northern edge of town. It becomes evident immediately that the driver of that truck is either deliberately rebelling against the custom of driving on the right-hand side of the road or is quite inebriated. And let's have a drive auto check from you.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So it's, of course, no trouble for you to stay behind this truck. And so it continues on its path towards the east. It comes to a stop sign at Randolph Street, which is the large road that leads north out of town to the highway. Right here where he stopped is actually right next to Al's Best Automobiles, where you work. So he comes to a stop at that stop sign, and that's one of the only roads in town that could be considered busy. So he's got to wait to cross it for the traffic that's moving northward. So after a few moments, it edges out into the road before screeching to a halt to avoid a car that turned out of Al's Best Automobiles. after gassing up. The driver of the pickup holds down the horn, and he actually leans out of the open driver's side window to scream curses at that person. And the curses are drowned out by the loud engine of that accelerating Cadillac. So for his part, the driver of the Cadillac seems either not to notice or not to care as he speeds away to the north. But a moment later, the driver of the pickup hits the accelerator and darts straight across the street. And then you follow. Do a luck roll for me, please, in the tower.
Hey, Mr. Herman, you got any idea what we're going to do when we catch up to this guy?
Hopefully just look, see where he's going.
Makes sense.
As luck would have it, the road is empty when you get to that stop sign, so you have no problem keeping up with him as you dart across that road. And then up ahead, you see after a block, he turns to the south onto 9th Street, and then you follow. 9th Street is a quiet street that runs alongside, at this portion of it, runs alongside a cemetery. Some of the headstones are close enough to the road that the driver feels confident enough to fling an empty bottle at them from his truck. The empty bottle spins in the air, reflecting the afternoon sunlight as it sails with surprising accuracy, shattering against a gray headstone, about which is evidence of others having used it as a target as well. But then he continues on, again, paying no regard to the proper side of the road to drive on at any given moment in time. So 9th Street goes straight south, and you follow along. There are houses on either side of the road once you're past the cemetery. Both of you roll a spot hidden for me.
Hopefully I'm rolling better this week. We'll see here.
Fail.
Really? Really? Son of a...
Okay.
Anybody going to push?
Jeez.
I can't think of why or how I'm pushing, though.
Well, you obviously missed the
Okay,
sniper
I could-
scope reflection.
Let's see, what am I rolling against? 45.
It's,
Because I'm currently
11
driving.
luck.
I could distract myself to such a degree. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, there are cars parked alongside the road. So if you pushed, then the consequence would be that you could
Push
crash
right into
Yeah.
one of them cars.
into one of the cars.
Well, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to, I'll start to go that way, and I'll start veering, and I'll put my hands back on the wheel and focus on the road, thus avoiding.
Oh, man. Can I push?
Let's see, what would a good...
I was thinking I'm kind of leaning, and I don't know if it's true, but my dad always told me that, like, these suicide-type doors got problems latching.
Just coming open.
That's true. Yeah,
And
so
so
that
I'm
could be
like-
the consequence as the door falls open and puts you in mortal danger.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Don't you dare, game.
Oh,
son of a... All right, let's do this.
so close.
Okay. All right. So you're following this truck, and so here's how it happens. So Oscar, you think you see something off to the side of the road. So you're leaning that direction when the door pops open,
Okay.
and at the same time, Rob, just out of nowhere, a dog darts in front of the car, and you don't have time to avoid it. But that doesn't mean you don't try a little bit. But do a drive auto.
Okay.
Hard drive auto.
Got
I
it.
got a extreme success.
Okay. So you slam on the brakes and you turn just perfectly to avoid hitting the dog. And the result of that is that Oscar, who's leaning, trying to see something.
So I decapitate him.
No, but the door that he's leaning against does fly open.
Oh, okay.
And so,
Yeah, so I'll be like, oh, watch out. I'll start swerving to avoid the dog. Didn't get my dad's advice that you never avoid an animal on the road.
No, I thought
Just
it was
run it down.
Yeah, I thought it was you don't slam on the brakes.
You speed up.
all right. And then so Oscar, this door flies open. And so from you, I guess we're going to need, what do you think we need?
Dex
Dex.
probably be good.
Or is there athletic?
I'm not seeing one. There might be it might be a skill that just wasn't given, like on the character sheet, because I know they do that a
I
lot.
got a dex, jump, dodge. If he's trying to hold on, like a strength or a climb to get back in. Something, I don't know. There are a lot of ways to do it.
Yeah, if you want a dex, I can do that. I'd prefer to go strength to just try to hold on for dear life.
You can do either one.
All right, let's see what my claim is. I think, yeah, we're going strength. One.
You gonna spend it?
Can I spend one luck to?
Yeah.
All right. Oh man, this game.
Yeah, you can spend a luck. So that door flies open, but you manage to hang on to it, and you manage well enough that you're able to get back in the car completely and shut that door just as you slide to a stop. And that would have, the one of the cars parked on the road would have smashed you in that door, but you manage.
Taking my head clean off.
Yeah, you managed to get back in just in time. So,
Oh, sorry about that, Mr. Herman. They got too many strays in this town.
Not your fault. Shouldn't have been leaning on these damn doors.
yeah, so then you've come to a stop, and that dog continues on, across the street and out of sight into somebody's yard. And up ahead, you can see that the pickup you're following has continued its path now. And then both of you give me another spot hidden.
I think I fumbled mine. Yep.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, so Rob, you're looking like back at him, looking over at the dog, and you look ahead and you don't, where 9th Street ends a few blocks away, you don't see which way it went, whether it went left or right.
Yeah.
But Oscar, you aren't looking down the road. You're looking at where that dog came from. And you happen to see, looking off towards the western side in the yard of one of the houses there, you happen to watch as two forms you just catch just as they disappear around the corner of a house. But you recognize the twin girls that you had met earlier that had the dissected frog, and you notice that one of them's carrying like a catch pole that like the dog catcher would use. But you spot them just as they disappear around the corner. And anyway, it's easy to connect in your mind that they were the ones chasing that dog.
They're ones going around dissecting stuff.
Dang it. Sorry, Mr. Herman. The guy turned off. I didn't see where he went.
Yeah, so Rob, 9th Street continues on pretty much straight south for 3 more blocks. And then the road, which is a smaller road that heads parallel to Main Street, but also to the east, goes out of town. That's where you come. That's where 9th Street ends, and you're not sure which direction he went. But you get up to that intersection, and then let's have I guess we'll do a group luck. Whoever's got the lowest luck.
I have a 68 currently.
I got 44.
All right, Oscar, do a luck roll, please.
There you go.
Okay, so you come up to that road and you're at the stop sign there, and there is no traffic either direction. So you have no idea which way you went. So what would you like to do now?
Well, we got this part of the town. I mean, we could just drive around. Maybe we'll get lucky.
I think we're kind of at a loss for doing much else.
All right.
But in the words of my grandfather, who always liked to impart wisdom at this, I suggest we head right first.
All right. I like the way Grandpa thinks.
Okay. You're going to turn right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That is an actual road option, right? I don't
Yeah.
want them driving through like a house or anything.
You sure, boss? All right.
Okay. So, yeah, you take a right-hand turn there. We'll switch over to Tony. Tony, you are in Petunia's house there, and it's, 10, 15 minutes since the deputy left, and you start hearing a commotion from outside. And when you look out the window, the front window, you can see off to the side there's some people gathering around. And you can just angle your head enough to look out the window to see that they're gathering around to look at something going on at the house next door to Miss Ellis, which is the neighbor.
So they're looking at the house next to hers, not her house, right?
Right. Yeah, the house on the other side of hers. Yeah.
Okay. Not one to just sit around when there's a good mystery to solve here. I'll head out and try and find out what's going on.
So you step out onto that sidewalk, and then you can see there's, probably about a dozen people now in the
Do I
area
recognize any of them? Any of the neighbors that I've seen so far?
No. At this point, you don't recognize any of them. But you do notice it's all women at this point. But as you get a little closer, you can see there's a large car parked in the street in front of that house. And it's marked as, it's got markings on the door that say Stoll Commercial Trust and Savings. And there's two bailiffs that are wearing Stoll Police Department uniforms. And right now, they're armed and taking cover on the other side of that car and looking at that house. And one of them has a shotgun, and the other has a pistol and a megaphone that he's shouting in as you get closer.
Can I make out what he's saying?
Yeah. So he's shouting, "Mr. Dahlhoff, come out with your hands up. Nobody has to get hurt." And you can hear muffled, but you hear the response come from that house. "My family built this house. My family lived in this house for 100 years. And then the bailiff responds, "You've been foreclosed, Mr. Dahlhoff. You were given due notice. The house belongs to the bank now. There's nothing more to do for it. Just come out peacefully." Do a listen check as you approach all this. Okay, that's a nice. Yeah. So as you're approaching this, and that bailiff had said that, and they're waiting for this Mr. Dahlhoff's response, you can hear all the onlookers. They're having their own little whispered conversations as they watch. And the gist of it, for most of the ones that you're able to overhear, is that there's a man, there's a name that you hear in there a lot, Thomas Bingham. And then you're able to pick up that he's the manager of a bank, but also everybody's remarking on the fact that he seems to have had a drastic change of personality recently, because he's like ruthlessly evicting anyone who falls behind on their mortgage. And part of another conversation you hear is that this is 100% opposite of his reputation, because he's always been known to work with people. He's always been known to be very compassionate and to do everything he can to keep people from losing their homes. But now people are remarking on how ruthless he is about these evictions, and then someone says that this is the fourth one this week. So that's what you pick up from all of that conversation that you're hearing. And then Mr. Dahlhoff responds, "I fought in France. You want to find out how well? Then you just come right ahead over my property line." And because of your listen check, you also clearly hear the workings of a bolt-action rifle from inside that house. So then a lot of things happen all at once here. The bailiff responds, "Mr. Dahlhoff, your wife is out here. Why don't you listen to her? You don't want her to see you get hurt, do you? She just wants what's best for you, Mr. Dahlhoff, like all of us. Come on out with your hands raised." And then you can see there's a careworn middle-aged woman who's standing alone, and she's right up against the waist-high picket fence, much closer than the other onlookers. And the lead bailiff gives her like a silent urging, and she raises her voice towards the house. "Al, honey, we can always find another place to live. It's not as bad as it seems. We've been through trials before. We can get through this one." And then after a moment, there's a response from inside the house. "Geraldine, you get away now. Get well back. This is my house, and I mean to defend it." So, Tony, you have sort of an instinct that is not shared by the onlookers here. For them, they're watching high drama. This is like a soap opera for housewives going on here. And you can tell in the man's voice that they're wrong about the way this is going to play out. Like, what it sounds like when a man has made up his mind. But after gathering their courage, the bailiff, the younger one with the shotgun, he comes out from behind cover of the car and he rushes towards the house. At this point, now you can hear panicked utterances from the gathered onlookers, and all at once you hear the sound of shattered glass and gunshots ring out. So the bailiff with the shotgun, he raises it and fires just as his head disappears in a fine pink and white mist that seems to float in the winter air. It's like there's something about it that draws your vision right to all the particles of his skull that are splattered all over the lawn there. And now the onlookers start screaming and they start running. And they do that just as the older bailiff raises his pistol over the hood of the car or the roof of the car, then starts firing towards the house. So
Where is Miss Dahlhoff?
well, she's right at this moment. This is all happening at once, right? And so at this moment, she's like standing right up against the picket fence to the front yard.
All right, I'd like to try and get her because I'm sure she's still in either direct or indirect gunfire danger. So
Hold her hostage.
I'll call out to her as I start making my way. Tell her that she needs to take
down.
cover. Yeah, 'cause,
Okay.
you're not safe standing there.
Let's have a let's see, what is your movement rate here?
Where
or
is
9?
that on here?
So that's going to be on your
No, it's a 9.
skills page. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the main.
Okay. Yeah. So, where you're at, it's quite a distance away from her, especially in the reckoning of gunshots. But put a dex roll in the tower for me. Okay. All right. So you see what's happening here, and you start rushing towards her to get her out of the way, but it all happens way too quickly. So everybody starts running, but Geraldine, despite being far closer to the northern edge of the property, in her panic, she starts running south down the sidewalk, which is the long way. As is often the way of things, simple choices that never make sense to those viewing from safety with a steady heartbeat and separated by time and space make bad situations infinitely worse. In this case, her choice to run the longest distance to safety brought her across the older bailiff's line of fire at the absolute perfect moment for his bullet to pass through her throat. Geraldine's body continued its motion as best as it could without her giving it any more direction, as all of her thought was now focused on the extreme pain in her throat and her complete inability to draw breath. So off balance, she careens into the fence, which was not in any condition to resist the force brought against it. And so the pickets split apart, and Geraldine comes to a stop face first in the mud of her own front yard. And that's with you about still 15 feet away.
How far away am I from the that older bailiff that's behind the car?
He's about 20 feet away now.
All right, I'm going to rush over there and kind of take cover behind. And all I'm going to say is that I'm, and I know that this isn't true anymore, but I'm, Officer Sprate's Boston PD as, how can I help?
Okay. Yeah. So you rush over there behind that car. So then, I'd say pick one of your social skills to see if you can get through to this man in the heat of the battle there. So,
okay.
what
I'm going to do
best-
it as an intimidate, and it just, I guess, like channeling, inner police chief, for what I remember from it, right, is call him a sorry sack and never seen such useless negotiating in my life, right? Is surprised you even got a badge. As I'm going to take charge here.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we're doing.
Oh, that didn't
intimidate.
work.
Okay.
What is it?
So-
That's a lot of luck. Can I may try and push that.
Yeah. I mean, if you push, there's the likelihood that he'll take you as a threat if you fail,
His blood's up. He just shot someone.
and he might, shoot you. There's that possibility if you fail a push.
Actually, I'm gonna use the luck. I'll use the 28 luck.
Expensive.
It is,
Okay.
but people's
Making me
lives are
nervous,
on the
John.
line.
All right.
All right, so use the 28 luck, and yeah, so basically I'm taking charge of this.
All right. Yeah. So you rush over there behind that car to the side of it that he's on, where he's got his bullhorn in one hand and his pistol in the other, resting on the roof. And you shout all that to him. And he turns to look at you, and you see that, with the heat of the moment, everything that's going on with bullets flying, and then suddenly you're there and you're screaming at him. He reaches the absolute limits of panic, and he drops his pistol in his bullhorn, and he takes off running at full speed down the road.
All right.
And it's at this same time that you hear someone shout, "Geraldine!" And the man in the house, you hear a clatter as he drops his rifle, and he wrenches open the door, and he dashes down the steps into the yard, and he slides on his knees. It comes to a stop at the body of his dead wife, and he picks her up gingerly and lays her head in his lap, but he's sobbing. He's got tears streaming down his own face, and he's begging God to undo what's been done, and God answers that the same as he always has for everyone else who's asked it. And Mr. Dollhoff buries his head in her blood-soaked dress and sobs there. So
while he's doing this, I'm gonna secure this pistol as I'll go up to the younger bailiff that's missing his head, and secure his shotgun and his handcuffs, and go stand behind the man and tell him I'm sorry. He's too dangerous in this state to be left unrestrained.
Okay. All right. And we'll shoot back over to Rob and Oscar.
All the force I have, I'll bring that butt of that shotgun down right on the back of his neck.
All right, so Rob, you took a right-hand turn, and that takes you along this road for a block until you reach Dutton Street. And at Dutton Street, you could go straight. You could take another right-hand turn and go back north, or you could take a left-hand turn and go south. So we'll have you both do a spot hidden roll for me.
Changes
Ooh, fumble.
Jesus. I think
Ain't
something
nothing
is
undone,
very
Mr.
wrong
Herman.
here.
That's my joke. I forced Mr. Herman to kill me because I said there ain't nothing on
Yeah,
that.
fine.
He's going to have to shoot me in the back of the
Okay.
Is that how you're going to push it?
I'm not going to push, I don't think.
Oh, dang it. Rolls just ain't with me tonight. Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm just concentrating on driving. I think I'm a little shook from almost hitting that dog.
Trying to think of what I would push with. Don't really think there's too much I can do right now. Yeah. I think we're just going to have to go with that. We don't see anything.
Keep leaning on the door.
Yeah, so I'd like to make you regret fumbling.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We also got a fumble coming. Is it a residential area?
Yeah, it is.
Now it's a kid this time.
Yeah, he's on the lookout for a truck. He doesn't see that. What time is it? School out?
I think it's, midday?
Yeah, it's
after.
a little past afternoon now, probably about 1 in the afternoon. So, that can explain why, because, the sun's just in that perfect point.
Mm.
But let me...
It's the same stray.
Oh, it could be the two girls that are chasing after the stray. Maybe you avoid the stray this time, but hit the girls.
Yeah, well, the court records on that one, when all the deliberating occurring, they'll find out that I put some gas on it when I saw the two girls. It was a murder.
All right. Yeah. So, you're looking around. This is what happens. You come into that intersection and you're looking around to see if you can see which way he went. And, because you're so focused on that, you don't notice that you've got the stop sign and the people coming from the north don't. And so, let's have a drive auto check to see if you can avoid having a little low speed fender bender here.
Okay. Extreme success.
Nice.
Yeah, so you come screeching to a halt pretty much in the middle of the intersection as this person goes around you, and you can see it's an older fellow, and he's just terrified, because you almost sideswiped him, and
Right.
he leans out the window and he starts cussing at you in Polish. You don't speak Polish,
No.
but you know what the language
Yeah,
sounds like, so he's screaming at you, and he's probably not saying God bless, but because of that, you do manage to avoid hitting him.
Well, let's see how my, just for myself, we'll see how yeah, I think it was his fault because I fumbled through that sign. So I'll yell out the window. I'll be like, you need to watch where you're going.
Dumb Paul.
Jesus Christ, Robbie, can we go a couple blocks without you down there hitting something?
Hey, I'm sorry. They don't have stop signs on racetracks. I just. Anyhow, yeah. You stay in your car, mister. There's going to be trouble. You get out of there. This ain't going to be a near miss. This is going to be a hit. This is what I'll be yelling at him.
Hit and run.
Yeah.
So yeah, he continues on along, and then let's do both of you put a luck roll, or no, sorry, low group luck roll. So Oscar.
The misadventures of Oscar and Rob.
All right, so Oscar,
I swear to God, if anything runs in this road.
you're looking to see what can I see which way it went when he slams it. So you you get like
Bodied into the...
yeah, so you fly forward there and on the dashboard, but you don't take any injury. But just so happens that if because you have your head turned to the side, to stop your face from going into the window, and you don't see this truck that you guys have been following, but you're looking to the south there and along Dutton Street, which is a larger road, a nicer road. And you just happen to see there's a whiskey bottle on the side of the road there.
Quick, Robbie, head south. See a whiskey bottle. I think that's our driver.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Hey, good thinking, Mr. Herman. I'll take a turn on southbound, get off Dutton.
All right. So you turn south, and then you're right behind the person that you almost just hit.
Now he thinks we're tailgating.
Yeah, and moving south. Now, south on Dutton, after a couple of blocks, there's like a merge lane that cuts southeast, and that is the connection to the Buttonwood Road that leads to Buttonwood, which is another town about 50 miles out to the east. And you could get onto there by continuing along Dutton for a few more blocks and then cutting east that way. But this is the way that they expect people to get onto Buttonwood. It's a nicer pavement, and it leads to the state highway. And as you come up to it, you catch the tail end of that truck because Buttonwood is like a diagonal southeast, and then it cuts more east than southeast, and just at that point is where you catch the tail end of that truck.
Ah, there you are.
Yeah.
See him?
I do indeed, Robbie. Good job.
So you know which way to go then, and so you start heading that way. Let's see what we'll do here. Yeah, the pickup accelerates as the country road angles more east than southeast, and there's no traffic, and so you're following for about 3 miles. And on either side of the road here, as town disappears behind you, and in the far distance, you see just farmland and lonely farmhouses, which can be seen, in the afternoon light. The driver of the pickup can be seen regularly lifting a bottle to drink and has abandoned any pretense whatsoever of driving on one particular side of the road. But up ahead, on the north side of the road, that would be the left side, you can see 2 boys. They're walking along. They're off the road, down the embankment, but they're walking along the road. And they're carrying fishing poles, which are swaying above their shoulders. And they're dressed much the same, and they look about the same age and or same size, at least from this distance. And they're each holding a small tackle box. And the driver of the pickup screeches to a halt as he comes up alongside him, as if he noticed them at the last minute. So what would you like to do at this point? Because he's come to a stop. So you'd need to also stop,
right,
or come.
So
yeah,
that's what I'll start at, and I'll be like, I don't think we got to worry too much about him knowing we're following him as much as he's drinking there. But what you want to do here, Mr. Herman?
Drive right on by. We'll find a place up ahead, pull off, and hopefully won't see us when he passes. As drunk as he is, I doubt he sees much of anything.
Yeah, surprised he's upright. So yeah, I'll just move around him and drive on by.
Okay. So you've got plenty of time. You were far enough behind him that you've got plenty of time to see that. So he gets out of his truck, and with like the startling speed that
This might change my decision here.
Only very drunk people are capable of. He exits his truck and shouts something at the boys. And for their part, they eye him warily and they look back over their shoulders towards the empty field. But at this point, the driver has to dart back to his truck because he forgot to put the brake on and it's starting to drive off without him. So he, despite his inebriation, he manages to get back into his truck and stop it. And then he steps back out again and he motions the boys over. And through fear or curiosity, their apprehension is overcome and they step up the embankment onto the road and they peer over the side of the pickup bed. And this is around the time that you are going past him. And, they peer over into the bed and he moves the tarp aside and the boys scream and take off running back down the embankment and across the field, their bare feet kicking up mud. And they manage not to drop any of their fishing gear, but they don't look back. And this puts that driver into just like an ultimate fit of laughter. He's doubled over. He's only managed to keep his feet because the truck catches him when he falls backwards. And he's just, but you continue on past him a bit. And in your mirror, you can see that he finally manages to get back into his truck and start on the road again.
Yeah, so we drive on past. There's only one way to go on this road, right? And
there are.
What's the name of that town?
Buttonwood.
Buttonwood. That's the good.
But there are turnoffs on this road to the farmhouses. There's dirt roads, dirt driveways that turn off.
I guess it's possible he might be taking the bodies to a farmhouse somewhere, but I don't know. What do you want to do here, Mr. Herman?
Well, I say we just maintain a good, decent speed limit, and when he wants past, we let him.
There you go. That's thinking. Yeah, so I'll, if there was a speed limit posted, I'll just do like 2 miles under the posted and assume he'll probably overtake us at some point on the country road. If not, then I'll just go by.
Here's what we'll do. Roll your, here's what I want you to do. Give me a, what is it called? What is the skill you have? The mechanical repair skill. Roll that for me.
28. Nice. Regular success.
All right. So, Oscar's car is a nice, newer, model. The truck is a bit older, and you know enough about him to know that what the top speed is of that truck in good repair. And you're good enough at fixing things that you realize that it's not necessarily in that good a repair. So using that knowledge, you're able to determine how, because there's not like a sign, there's no speed limit sign.
Right.
But it helps you to determine
about what he might comfortably be.
Yeah. And also you were following him and it seems like his only speed is with the pedal all the way down. Right.
So working that engine.
So it's not hard at all for you to surreptitiously allow him to get past you. What is concerning is his
erratic driving.
His erratic driving.
Yeah.
Like it seems to you as he approaches, like he might not even realize you're there.
Yeah, I'll probably think of that and I'll be like, I just want to forewarn you, Mr. Herman. I can't vouch for the safety of your car once he gets up on us.
Worst comes to worst, pull into one of these farmland driveways.
All right. You got it. Yes, I'll set my speed there.
Okay.
And we'll see what he does when he gets up close, if I got to maneuver out of it or...
All right. Yeah. So you do that, and then eventually he does come up to you, and then he, swings wide to overtake you. And through what you can only determine must be divine influence, he doesn't, there's no danger of him hitting you, but it's not through any fault of his, because as he passes you, he's got his head all the way up and he's guzzling from a bottle, and it's just a miracle that he's even staying on the road. But it seems to either of you that it doesn't seem to either of you that he notices you at all.
God loves drunks and fools, huh?
I was going to say that's why God wasn't with that old man crying over his dead wife. Right. He's busy making sure this guy's safe.
He's taking care of the drunks. So yeah, he shoots past you, and then you continue on following him. All right, now we'll go back over to Tony. So Tony, you've got Mr. Dahlhoff in these handcuffs here, and he doesn't offer any resistance at all, and doesn't seem to realize that you're even there. He's so lost in his grief. But you and most of the onlookers have disappeared now. once the bullets started flying. But you do hear some sounds coming from down the road where the bailiff ran. So he ran southward. And you look up, and there's a block away, parked alongside the road, is a large moving truck. And this is one of the newer Ford Model TT moving trucks that are starting to become popular because they're enclosed, and it lets people move their belongings protected from the weather. So you can see that there's a truck parked there, and there's a couple of guys in the cab of it. And that's where the bailiff stopped running. And the sound you heard was a vehicle coming to a stop, was Deputy Alexander's car. And so he stepped out, and he's talking to that bailiff there, and they start walking back your direction. And as they approach, you can hear that the bailiff is telling Deputy Alexander that you assaulted him and took his pistol away from him. And for his part, Deputy Alexander has a very angry look on his face as he's approaching you, and he's pulled out his pistol and is pointing at you and demanding that you drop the weapon and put your hands up.
Do I got time to secure this guy in the back of that police car?
No, this is while you're still in the yard there.
All right, well, time for another intimidate attempt, as this time on Deputy Alexander, and it will basically going to be, I'm not sure what kind of, trying to think if I know a slang for it, but basically like a Cracker Jack box police force you're running here. But the way that you not only killed the only suspect in Miss Petunia's disappearance, but then your bailiff here is killing this guy's wife and getting one of your own killed. Is absolutely disgraceful. You're lucky that I'm even here helping you, and you'd do well to put that firearm down or put it away.
Okay. So you're going to do an intimidate?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Success. It's so shaky, as it seems like there's more failure than success here.
Okay. So, yeah, you shout that at him, all the things you said about how he's bungling the whole profession of police officer here. Let me look at something real quick here.
So I'll also add in that not only do we need to secure this Mr. Dahlhoff for murdering a fellow officer, but he needs to bring that coroner truck back and pick up 2 more bodies.
Okay. All right. So the effects of what you say as he's approaching, he's got his pistol trained on you, and then you say all that, and you can see that it gets through to him because he blinks his eyes a bit and he starts looking nervous. But then he does, he looks around a bit, and he does slowly lower his pistol, and he's like, "Okay, let's everybody calm down then, and let's think this through. So, what exactly did you say happened here, Mr. Spates? Because, I have a fellow officer here who says you assaulted him and took his weapon away."
Your officer ran like a untrained fool. I'll tell you what happened. Heard shouting and a lot of commotion. I was back in Miss Petunia's house and came outside to see what was going on. And your officers here were attempting to negotiate with Mr. Dahlhoff to come out of the house so the bank could repossess it. This one, and I'll point to the headless body, has decided that he was some hero in the war and tried to rush the house and lost his head for it. As then your deputy or your bailiff here, I'll point to the other one that ran off, starts firing wildly, was not watching what he was doing, ended up killing Mrs. Dahlhoff. When I came to offer assistance, he freaked out and dropped his pistol and his bullhorn, and I'll kind of point over to the back of the car where it's probably still laying, and ran off down the road. Because again, if it wasn't for me here, you would have an unsecured scene. You'd probably still have somebody shooting up the place, killing more of your townsfolk.
Okay, so this whole time, the old bailiff is like, his face is just going through every angry emotion possible, and he's spluttering, and he's trying to protest what you're saying, but Alexander just holds up a hand, and it's somehow it's keeping that older man silent. But the Alexander, he's listening to you, and he's nodding his head, and he's surveying the scene, and he shakes his head sadly when he sees Geraldine Dahlhoff there. And then something catches his eye past you, and he looks up, and he can see that when you follow his eyesight there, you can see that in the house there's I forgot her name. Hang on.
Evelyn, I think it was. Well, the one next to him, or Petunia's house. Marion and Rosemary Ellis are they're inside their house, but they've got the curtains aside and they're peeking out at the whole thing. So that's what he's looking at. But he takes a breath, and then he puts a smile on his face, and he's like, Mr. Spades, you're right. You have been a tremendous help to us here, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll admit that my officer could use a bit of additional training, and this definitely wasn't handled the way we like to handle things here. But I want to extend a grateful hand to you for helping secure this scene. And this is a tragedy, of course, but my men did have a duly signed warrant for eviction here, and it is a shame that Mr. Dahlhoff resorted to violence. We wish that he hadn't, and I understand desperate straits that he must have felt he was in, but there's a proper way to handle these things. And at the end of the day, he's been lawfully foreclosed on. So, I agree with you. Now he's a murderer, killing a fellow officer. I would expect that you would want to see him come to justice by the law rather than a mob law. And at that point, can I try and secure him in the car?
Yeah, so, he doesn't offer any resistance when you lift him up. And, he doesn't take his eyes off of his dead wife, of course, but he's not offering any resistance. And Alexander steps forward and says, I'll secure this prisoner. And, Mr. Spates, I can see how with the events of today, you might have a sour outlook on our town, but I assure you this is not the sort of thing that happens here on a regular basis. And I want to apologize for my deputy slandering you as he has, and I'll guarantee that he'll face some discipline over that. But we've got to secure this scene, and now this is official business, so please go on your way, and we'll take care of the rest of this.
All right, I'll extend my hand to him. Tell him, hey, there's no hard feelings on my end, right? I understand how these situations can get out of control quickly, right? You're doing good work here, and then I'll hand him the shotgun, and I'll start to head back to Petunia's house.
Okay, put a psychology roll in the tower for me.
You said you want it in the tower?
Yeah. Okay, so Tony, so you had shaken the Deputy Alexander's hand there and started walking away, but you wanted to...
Yeah, I handed him the shotgun and, try and occupy him a little bit.
Okay,
between
so
that and the suspect.
You're trying to slip away with this bailiff's pistol.
Yeah, I want to see if I can, because when I secured it, I'm not sure what it is, but figure most officers use like 38, something like that. So probably put it in the pocket, and then that way I'll give him the visible gun, and then start trying to head back to Petunia's house.
Yeah, so we're looking for a sleight of hand.
If you fail, just skin that smoke wagon and start firing.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, so you just, you're acting, inconspicuous, and you go to slip it in your pocket, but the older bailiff is like finally got an opportunity to say something and be right. So he's like, he's trying to steal my pistol. And he screams it. It's got spit flying, and Alexander's like, he's not If you would be so kind, Mr. Spates, I'm sure it was just a natural instinct, but let him have his pistol back.
Yeah, I almost forgot about this one, but I'll hand it to the deputy.
Yeah.
And not the bailiff. And
Make sure he gets it back after he's grown up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, just be,
Calm down.
you might want to hold off till he's calmed down a little bit, and then I'll tip the officer cap that I don't wear anymore, imaginary, and you two have a good night. And turn around and head off.
Yeah. So as you leave, you can see that Deputy Alexander looks back to that moving truck and he motions him forward, and so that truck starts pulling in, and it's got a couple burly men in the front of it, and they get out and they're going to start moving out the Dollhoff's belongings, but also do a spot hidden for me.
Okay. As instead of heading back to Petunia's, I'm gonna head over to the neighbors. I can't remember what their names were, but the ones
Ellis.
that were peeking out the window. Yeah, Ellis, and
Miss Ellis.
make sure that they're doing all right, since they've been very kind and offering us food and what have you.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you can see that the moving truck's pulling forward, and Deputy Alexander heads back to his car. But that's all the details that you pick out, and then you go over to Marion and Rosemary Ellis's house there up on the porch and knock on the door, and we'll shoot back over to Rob and Oscar. So Rob and Oscar, after a few miles outside of town, Jensen in your rear view there screeches to a halt again, and then goes in reverse and turns off to the north on a dirt driveway that he had missed. So you'll have to turn around and head back to that to follow him.
Didn't he overtake us, though? I thought we were behind him again.
No, you're missing the fun part of Call of Cthulhu, Travis.
Just don't change. Sorry.
No, you're right. No, you're right. I forgot about that. So yeah, anyway, so that's what you see up ahead. So he turns down this dirt driveway here. And
what can we see
from the road?
Yeah, like, do we see where the dirt driveway ends?
yeah, so for a bit you can, that there's an old farmhouse out that direction. The driveway itself is lined with towering hemlock trees. So once you get close enough to that turn, the trees block your sight of that farmhouse. But before you get to them, that's what you see.
Looks like he's only got one place to go. You want me to park somewhere and we go on foot from here?
So from the point at which you can still see that farmhouse, you see that these trees go on for about 3/4 of a mile. That's how long this driveway is.
Right.
On either side of it, it's just empty farmland. The one difference being that this farmland, it doesn't have the appearance of having been tended in recent years that the other fields have.
How light are you on your feet, Robbie?
Well,
ask about your stealth.
Right. I wasn't known for it. Good as the next guy, you might say.
All right. While he's telling me that, I'll pull out my 45 from my shoulder holster, and I'll check it, make sure it's chambered and ready to go.
Okay.
All right, Robbie. If you ain't too light on your feet, head on back to town. Tell Tony, lead him back here.
All right.
If he's willing.
You got it, Mr. Herman. I'll see you in a while.
All right. And I'll get out and I'll start stealthing my way into the or through the hemlock. Is that the?
Yeah, these are eastern hemlock trees, and it's they're enormous. Like they're all probably close to 100 feet tall, and so they create this perception of going through a tunnel because they block out the light so well, and but the driveway is pretty straight, although it's not well tended. So for him, when you can still see him for most of the distance, the truck, he treats it just like another.
I kind of want to go back a little bit. I don't want him to quite go yet.
Who?
Robbie.
Okay.
Give me 15 minutes. If anything happens, check the trunk. You find some weapons in there.
Okay.
Then I'll go on.
Although you might want to know, I ain't the greatest at shooting either. Kind of just punch guys.
Hopefully I won't be around if you got to shoot anything then.
All right, well, I'm going to pull up there a ways and, I don't know, I'll wait.
All right.
Okay, and so you're going on foot down
Mhm.
the road, the driveway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll keep an eye out and to get off into the trees if I need to. But yeah, I'll just try to do a kind of a quick march hustle type thing.
Okay. Yeah, so you can see that truck continuing down this driveway, and he treats it just like any other road, and so the only speed is full speed, and you can see that this road is not well tended, so there's a lot of dips and ruts and potholes, and there's a couple of times where it bounces so furiously that it's like a miracle to you that the body doesn't fly out of the back, because you can see the body bounce and that corpse in the back, and it manages not to fly out. But yeah, it's a pretty straight road. And after like 3/4 of a mile, these trees end, and then you've got about 300 yards of empty space before the farmhouse there. And that house there's an old barn that you see first, and then beyond that, a farmhouse in the style of the early previous century. And there's just enough about it to evidence that it had at one time been a beautiful monument to a successful farm, but now it's fallen into a state of dilapidation so profound that the notion of living in it seems more undesirable than sleeping out in the elements. There's large portions of the roof are caved inwards. It's a 3-story house, and large portions of the roof are caved in with gaping holes open to the sky. The southeastern corner of the wraparound porch has collapsed at some point in the past. The barn doesn't seem to be in any better conditions. The western-facing door lies in the mud off to the side, and the southern side of the barn has been turned into like a parking lot or junkyard. There's at least 15 vehicles in various states of disrepair, and despite the conditions of the house, people are clearly occupying it because you can see lights coming. It's starting to get close enough to dusk that you can see lights spilling out of windows on the first and second floors, and there's a large fire burning in the yard between the house and the barn. And then from the edge of the trees, you can see 4 people are gathered around it, and they're passing some bottle back and forth and having some sort of conversation. They appear to be having fun. And then from the edge of the trees, you watch the driver of the pickup come to a stop pretty close to the field of vehicles, and he steps out and he shouts something to the people around the fire, and they shout something back, and he joins them, and they start having an animated drunken conversation. So
Let's see. First year. It looks like license plates might be a thing in most states right now in
Yeah.
the 20s. Can I make out any of the license plates on any of the junked cars, if there are any?
no,
Okay.
like you can see that some of them have them, but you can't get any detail off of them.
Well, I was just hoping. Maybe I can move closer. I was hoping to see if they were like out of state, because like I'm thinking that they might be pulling travelers off the road is what I'm thinking. Maybe stealing. But was it you said 4 guys out by a bonfire?
Yeah. So like you've got about 300 yards of empty flat farmland before that barn and the house.
Yeah.
From that distance, you can see that most of the vehicles that you have eye-line to where they would have the license plate have them, but you can't pick out
Okay.
enough to know if it's in state or out of state.
All right. Can I catch any of what they're saying, or do I need to get closer?
Yeah, not from this distance.
Okay.
You can't.
That 300 yards open space, I don't like the idea of. All right, I'll go back to Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, this time of day, there's not much to hide between the trees and the house.
All right.
So
Yeah, I'll head on back to town, Robbie. They got a bunch of people in there. Got about 300 yards open former farmland between us and that house. We're not going to make that in the daytime.
All right, you got it, Mr. Herman. I don't mean to, punch above my weight or anything like that, but why do you think we might need to get in your trunk and do shooting?
Well, backwater towns like this can get dangerous, Robbie.
Fair enough. And then I'll keep my yap shut and focus on the road.
are you both going back to town?
I think I'll hang out in the trees
Okay.
and have him hopefully bring Tony out back to me. If not, it'll probably just be me and Robbie making this.
And then you're going back to town to get
I'm going to
Tony?
scoop up Mr. Spates.
Okay. All right. So let's do drive auto. Let's see how fast you make it back to town.
Go drive auto.
Okay.
Regular success.
All right. Now let's do a luck roll.
Oh, man. You don't put him in the car with you, Travis.
He's got low luck.
Yeah.
He's been spending it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you flip around and you start heading back to town, and you make pretty good time. It doesn't take very long at all to get back. Probably, so what are you about 5? You could probably get back to Petunia's house in 20 minutes.
Yeah, without a passenger in the car, particularly the owner of the car. I'll open her up and
Yeah.
take the turns without a concern about who else is around.
Okay. So yeah, we'll go over to Tony. So Marion opens the door when you go up on the porch, and it's no surprise to you that instead of inviting you in, she steps out, and you can see that Rosemary is like hanging on to her and peeking around to look at you. But it wouldn't be proper for her to have a male guest inside the home like that. So she steps out on the porch and asks what she can do to help you.
Sorry to bother you so late, ma'am. Just wanted to check and make sure that you and Rosemary were okay.
Oh yes, thank you for your concern. We'll be fine. That was hard to watch. I've known Mr. Dolhoff and his wife for a long time.
Definitely could have been handled better. But again, just wanted to make sure that you guys were all right. And I'll look back over to where Geraldine's body was, and say, yeah, sorry for your loss there, and head on back over to Petunia's. 'Cause that was really just wanted to make sure that nothing bad had happened to him.
All right, yeah. So you go back over to Petunia's, and it's not all that long later that Rob shows up in front of the house in a big car.
All right, I'll head out to the front porch. Is expecting Rob and Oscar. When I only see Rob in the car, I'll head down and ask him what happened to Oscar.
He's doing just fine, Mr. Spates. I left him at the farmhouse. We followed the coroner all the way out there. You want me to come back and get you?
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best. I don't think it's going to be safe for us around here much longer, and I'll look back over towards the house. Is that moving truck still out there?
Yeah, now they've just started getting to work, and you can see that Deputy Alexander pulled his car up to adjacent to the house. Actually, both of you make a spot hidden for me.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I actually made mine.
I got it.
Don't forget to put your
Barely
check.
got it.
Thank you.
So both of you notice that he's like standing in the open driver door of his car, and he's talking into something like the first thing that comes to your mind would be a radio, but it looks way different than anything you've ever seen before. It's like you don't see a wire for one thing, and whatever he's holding in his hands, it looks like it has like crystals on it, and a couple of wires that don't seem to connect to anything else. They're just hanging off of it, but you can hear him, or you can see him talking into it, which is a little strange.
I'm
Who's
not
this guy
going to.
now?
Deputy Alexander,
Oh,
the guy who saved your life.
right.
Yeah.
As I'm not going to say anything about it, but I'll look over across at Robbie and arch an eyebrow, and then proceed to get in the car.
Okay.
Technology always marches forward, Mr. Spates.
Yeah. And
What
my
can you
cup
do?
of tea.
It does.
All right.
I'll regale
So-
him with the tale of what happened on the drive over, get him up to speed.
Okay. Yeah. So he's telling you that story, Rob, while you're driving back to where you had left Oscar. Now, Oscar, you're like at the edge of the trees there watching these people over by that fire. And, they're acting like you'd expect. They seem to have a limitless supply of bottles to produce and pass around. And they're doing all the things you would expect drunk people to do, shouting and laughing and whatever. But at some point, you do notice that everybody stops talking in response to something that draws their attention to a nearby bench. And the one driving the pickup, you've also deduced that one's definitely the leader of this group. And he stomps over to that bench and he picks something up and puts it to his ear. And you can't make out what it is from here, but you do notice that after about 30 seconds of holding this thing to his ear, he puts it back down and he lets out a string of angry curse words. And then he points at one of the 4 other men around the fire. And together they stomp angrily back to his truck. And they get in it and he fires it up and he spins it around back towards your direction and then starts heading back down the driveway. But after about just 10 feet, slams on the brakes, gets out, cusses some more, and then he goes and opens the tailgate and he yells at a couple of the other ones left by the fire, and they come over and they drag the corpse out very roughly and unceremoniously dump it on the ground. And then he gets back in, and with his passenger, they come tearing down the driveway in your direction.
All right. Yeah, I'll try to get some cover, more so than I got now. Make sure they just drive on by and hope that Robbie isn't currently out there.
Right. Okay, yeah, so they don't, as they drive by, they're not looking side to side at all, so they clearly don't notice you, but they go tearing down the driveway at the greatest speed the truck can achieve, bouncing wildly as they go. And then Rob and Tony, Rob, you look up and you see that truck coming towards you when you're about 2 miles away from the turnoff. And he's driving the way he was earlier, all over the road. But as they pass you, you can see that he's got a passenger now, somebody you don't recognize. But they pay no mind to you guys.
Right. I'll lift my hand in the country wave like I think folks do.
Yeah.
As I pass. But yeah, that's the guy there, Mr. Spates.
And he's probably heading back to get those 2 bodies I was telling you about.
Hold on well, your story, because I didn't get all of it just by listening. What was the cliff notes on it? What happened to you, Mr. Spates?
They were 2 bailiffs showed up to evict a guy who had defaulted on bank loan. Guy decided that he wanted to hold up in the house. Those deputy got, or a bailiff got killed trying to be a hero. The guy's wife got killed because of negligence, and then that was the other one just ran off. But it's definitely something not right in the town. I think we already knew that, but I think it's something deeper at this point.
Yeah, I guess I must be blind. Mr. Herman was feeling the same way. All right, I'll just keep driving from that point. Because I was for my part, there was some strange stuff, but
Yeah.
I was concerned about Mrs. Brizantine, and I didn't know his stuff. And then, he's got a better eye for that sort of thing. So I'm like, what's shooting?
No, I like the idea that this is going to end like with your first Wheel of Time character, where eventually you just get fed up with all of our oddities and just take off.
I wouldn't do that, but
going back to boxing.
Safer there.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll keep driving. And I said, it's just a little further ahead here. We shouldn't be much longer.
All right, yeah, so you could make it to that turnoff. And you'd have to decide what you're going to do with the car from there.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go on to where I did the last time. I think I drove a little further down and pulled off on the side of the road.
Okay.
I think I'll watch the house for what you think I would figure a good amount of time was for them to possibly be heading back without encountering any trouble.
Yeah.
And then I'll
Like
go
an hour later.
wait near the road for the car in the tree line still.
Yeah. How long did it take us to get here before we saw that if you guess you want to call it the coroner truck, and then how long till we get to the house after we saw the coroner truck?
Yeah, so about 10 minutes.
10 minutes till we saw the coroner from when we left to when we see it, and another 10 to get back?
No, it's
Or
like
get to the house?
from when you pass the the truck, it's another 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get to the turnoff.
Okay. And then
then
how
probably
long from when we left till we saw that truck?
Yeah, like 25 minutes.
Okay, so we probably got, at least, once we get there, we probably got at least 40 minutes inside if the guy works relatively fast or gets someone to just help him load the bodies. If they sit there and talk, maybe we have an hour.
Yeah, before he comes back. Yeah, that's, assuming that they just do whatever they're doing and then come straight back. Yeah, that would make sense.
'Cause that's what. So at that point, is when we get to the house, I'll take a look at my pocket watch and see what time it is and just note it so I can check it again later.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, once you guys have all met up together, then you've got about an hour before sundown. It's already starting to get dark a little bit, but you got about an hour before sundown.
Okay.
So then from the tree line, like you can see, as I had described, now there's, 3 men around a roaring fire in the yard in between the house and the barn. And that's what you can see from the tree line.
All right.
Some lights coming from the dilapidated house, but
So are they out by the road, or are they with me in the tree line?
yeah, they'd just be with you at the tree
All
line.
right.
If you-
So yeah, when they pull up, I'll nod to Tony.
I'll give him a nod back and ask him what he knows so far about, or what have you seen so far out here?
Well, this is the weirdest coroner's office I've ever spotted. Right now, it's just a bunch of drunk people sitting around a fire cussing. That's about it. They got some junked cars out back. It almost seems more like a moonshiner's operation than anything I've seen. While I'm talking to him, I'll go around to the back of my car and pop the trunk. I don't know how you
follow him
for it.
that way.
I don't know how you guys want to play this, but I'm thinking about waiting until it's dark and just going and taking a look. But I don't know. There's something about all this that just kind of puts me on edge. I think it's a bit dangerous. So
I
if you
would
wanna-
agree with you.
So if you want to arm up, pick your poison, and I got a shotgun and bolt action in the back of the trunk.
I'm better with a rifle, Mr. Herman, so maybe I'll take that shotgun, I think.
All right, attaboy, Robbie.
I could take the rifle if you've got something. If not, then I'll leave the rifle up to you, and pretty good with my hands.
Aren't we all, it seems? No, I got my service pistol.
Okay, yeah, I'll grab that rifle then. And
No, I just want to do some sneaking, but if you want, and if you're opposed to that, Tony, we can go right up there and try to do this as legit as possible. Just maybe pretend we're cops.
well, and I'll go into the story of what happened back at the house after they left. With all of that, I don't think that anybody here is going to believe that we're working for that deputy.
I agree with you.
So we've got about an hour before that guy probably comes back. I know he was someone I was interested in to talk to anyways. But if we want to just scout it out, see if there's anything that we can see beforehand, I'd rather go in prepared than
I agree with you.
have that guy come back. I can't remember what his name is. Norman, I believe.
Jensen?
Jensen, yeah. Yeah, there it is. Freddie Jensen. Before Freddie gets back with those 2 bodies.
I agree. Well, as drunk as they are, I doubt they can see far. I just want to be careful. No reason to start shooting someone without reason. Well,
Which way do you want to check around? And
So-
I'll kind of eye Robbie here. I'm sure he's probably the biggest of us. And yeah, how are you on your feet? You pretty spry, pretty.
Nah, not really. Gotta
All right.
admit,
don't
I was
worry.
more about the full frontal assault.
Well, you got better dexterity than Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, I just, I'm no good in the woods,
City boy.
Right.
So, it's mostly, once you get out of these trees, it's like 300 yards of flat, open ground. And the closest place to you where you would find cover, you'd first reach the barn and the junkyard / parking lot. That'd be the closest place to go where you would have cover and still have eye line to the people around the fire.
Well, I can
Now,
keep an eye on them or something like that, and maybe, make a whippoorwill call or whatever if they start moving while you guys are going around the house. Or
Maybe, but that junkyard, I got a hunch that I want to kind of see if it plays out. I'm wondering if those cars are all from out of state, if they're taking people that have broken down and I don't even know why I'm feeling that way, but I just feel like there's something wrong all the way about this place.
Well, you got to follow your gut. I'll try it, Mr. Herman.
How's about you sit up in the barn?
Sounds good to me.
All right, Robbie.
You want me over with you? Or
would
you
you
want
light
me
on-
to take a look in another spot? As saying again, we've got a while to kill, but two sets of eyes might be better than one in this case.
All right. So we're waiting for dark, or are we going now, John?
I think we're going now over to the junkyard, as we got about an hour to investigate and look around, and when after he gets back, should be either sundown or dark. If not full dark, then we wouldn't have long to wait, and then we can storm the gates.
I don't know if I want to go in the day. All right, let's go for it.
Well, I mean, we could wait a little bit longer. As again, it's got about an hour till sundown. We can wait and see what we see from the guys in the house.
Well,
or
the
that
sun
are
is low.
out back.
Maybe just put your, our approach in the direction of the sunset. Might be hard to look that way, and they're drunk as all get out.
Could we get our backs to the sun?
How far out is this junkyard to?
300 yards.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
You would be moving north, so the sun would be to your left, and not at enough of an angle that it would impede your vision.
all right. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
I think
slightly-
we should. I think we should wait then,
Yeah.
because I thought it was is a little bit further out. We might be able to get around to the side and out around to the back, but yeah, I think we should wait until sun starts to set and it starts to get darker, so we're not silhouetted out.
And we parked that car far enough off the edge of the road where it probably won't be seen. All right. All right. I'm going to head into the copse of trees here a little bit and smoke some cigarettes while we wait.
Sounds like a good idea.
I'll start rolling a smoke and head off a bit deeper into the trees while we wait for sundown.
Okay.
I'll pass one to Tony.
Yeah, I'll join him in a smoke and
Robbie,
get up into the
Coach
trees.
never let me do it.
build strong lungs.
He had different ideas.
Once
learned
they're
to trust
fully
him about
developed, at least.
Some of those guys I'd square off against that smoke, they gas out after a little while. I don't know if it's because the smoking. That was Coach's idea.
Odd. Been
It's a different
smoking
world.
since I was 6. Not a problem yet.
The pressure to smoke.
I hear 9 out of 10 doctors say it helps you.
That's what it says on the package. You're right.
Yeah. Look right here. You see any warnings on this label?
Get a peer pressure roll.
Is it
probably
my
power roll.
appearance?
Yeah.
There you go.
No,
That's extreme success. Well, what can one hurt?
That's the
Pass
spirit.
one over. The American spirit.
Probably. It's probably is. Well, if I could get it, it'd be reservation tobacco.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to choke off a cough, I'm sure, like most first timers.
You might not
well,
even know
if
to
you
inhale.
even inhaled, yeah, as you probably
Yeah.
take it in your mouth and just blow it out.
Well, that's
from
how
there.
it would be. I'd see there's too much smoke coming out for me because I didn't inhale any of it. I'm just puffing on it. Try to imitate what you guys are doing.
All right, Tony. So when this night falls, we'll head around that barn, drop off Robbie there so he can keep us covered, and we'll head on a little bit closer, see if we can get a read on any of those license plates in the junkyard. Then we'll head on back, start peeking in some of those house windows from the other side. Hopefully there ain't a big moon tonight. Is it full moon tonight or not?
No, it's not. It's not full moon.
All right.
Did we see any other vehicles that were running or that weren't part of the junkyard that were out in front of the house, or does this house look pretty big? Like, does it look like those guys that we saw drinking out front probably live here?
Well, there's nothing about any of the cars in that group of cars from your distance to tell you if any of them are usable or not. So if they have cars, they could be parked there. Some of them are clearly not workable, but others you can't tell.
Okay. Does the house look big enough to...
3 stories?
Well, I guess
yeah.
it doesn't really even matter, because back in that day, people probably just slept in chairs or leaning up against houses every day.
We slept in caves until 1981. It's a 3-story farmhouse, from what Brian was saying, so it's pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty big. So let me give you a rough image, which is only for your mind. It's not to be used for determining distances or anything, but just so you have a approximation of what this property looks like. I'll share this with you. 1 second.
So do we just not need to worry about how much ammo we have for reloading?
I mean, we'll see. If
Okay.
we get into a fight, then it could play a part. But all right, let me share this with you real quick. Are you seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the lower building is the barn, and that black circle represents where the cars are. And then there's the bonfire, and then the house. So that just gives you a basic idea. So from where you are, which is straight to the south, you can see the junkyard parking lot. But whatever's on the northern side of the barn and the house, you can't see. All right, so you guys wanted to sneak up there
Mm-hmm.
to the junkyard, and Rob's going to stay back with the rifle.
I'm going to make it to the barn
Yeah.
with the shotgun
Okay.
and keep an eye on things from there.
All right, so you're all going to dart across, and you're waiting until dark, or you're going to go right now?
Dark.
Okay. All right, so yeah, and that's about an hour away from the time you were discussing it. So you've reached that point now where it's dark, and you can still see them because they're lit up by the fire, and there's still the light coming through the windows on the house, but otherwise, and you know, there is some moonlight, but not enough that you need to worry about them spotting you. So you can make it to that junkyard, that line of cars darting across the open farmland without any trouble.
Okay.
And then once you've reached the cars, now you might need to be sneaky enough. You might need to do some rolls for it. But so you've reached that line, or where the cars begin. And what would you like to do from there?
Oh, I'm going to see if I can check some plates, the ones that have it, see if there's any out of state, if they're newer, which
Okay.
most cars with plates would be newer in this era,
Yeah.
just because. So.
Well, all of the plates you can see are Pennsylvania plates.
Okay.
Some of them are rusted and some of them are, covered with dirt or whatever, but all the ones you can see are clearly Pennsylvania plates.
All right. Looks like that didn't pan out.
Are these newer model, or are these older model vehicles?
It's a range.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, on
Any
to the farmhouse.
damage
Some of them-
are
some
there
of
massive
them-
damage to each of them?
No. And some of them are clearly very new and in great condition. Those are the ones parked closest towards the house, but further away, it's like a succession of disrepair as it moves further down the barn.
Well, that's why I figured that they were knocking over travelers. Newer cars like this just being junked. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
In fact,
good line of thought, and it still might not be completely wrong. I mean, what if the hobo that got shot wasn't a hobo to begin with, right? Or the vagrant, as I spend long enough on the run, sure, turn any man into an animal.
Or maybe in captivity, Guy looked like he hadn't been eating too well. No clothes.
How you feeling, Robbie? Going feral yet? Riding the rails too long?
Things get a little strange out there, I'm not going to lie.
okay. So you've reached there now. What?
All right. I guess you boys go on to the farmhouse. I'll hang here and listen to them, what they're talking. Are the men still out there?
They are.
Yeah, okay. I'll stay here for a little bit, see if I can pick up any information. You guys start checking windows. Or actually, you need to head to the barn, don't you?
Yeah. Well, that was the original plan, but
Mhm.
we
Okay.
can do something different.
Well, yeah, I think the configuration of stuff got a little bit jumbled in description. I think we came at it from the wrong way. But, yeah, what can you do? You can
So-
hang here with me if you want.
Like, that the front door of the barn doesn't exist anymore. It's like laying
Right.
down in the mud. But that would, that's just open space. They would easily see you. But that's all you know from this point. You don't know about any side or back doors that might be on the other side of the barn. But you do know that like there isn't any cover to get to the house from this side. You'd need to go around the barn and go the long way around.
I think that would give us a pretty good idea of the lay of it. See if there's anybody that we may have missed or any areas that hold some other people.
How's about we slightly change the plan then, and you hang here and keep your gun on them in case stuff goes sideways, Robbie.
Okay.
And then me and Tony will go off towards the farmhouse, right? You sneaky, Tony?
I am fairly light on my feet.
Yeah. At the end, it doesn't matter the way I've been rolling tonight. So.
Yeah, me either. I mean...
All right, Robbie, keep your gun trained on them. If they start getting angry,
running,
yeah,
just start blasting. You have the permission of the Boston PD.
you don't need to hit them. Just keep them
Sure
pinned.
about that, Mr. Spades?
You don't need to hit
No,
them,
I
Robbie.
got you. Shoot one over their head.
Yeah, there you go. Keep them
It's happened
pinned.
to me enough times.
And one in the leg too, to let them know that you're not fooling.
So, Tony and Oscar, you start making your way around the back of the barn.
Yeah, heading towards the house.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Stealth?
let me just make sure So by that we mean you're going this way.
Okay.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, give me stealth rolls from you two. Okay.
Spend the luck.
Yeah, as I'm
No
gonna
push.
Oh,
Yes.
It's up to you, man.
So you guys start moving off picking your way through the cars, and then Tony trips.
I want to spend the 18.
Almost trips.
All right, but he manages to catch himself without making any noise. And
Can't be dying off in session 2.
you guys make your way around to the back of the barn, and that's far enough away that you don't really need to worry about being quiet as long as you don't start shooting your gun or something.
All right.
Rob, do a listen
I
check.
feel this overwhelming urge.
That's called being a player, John. We feel it constantly, the urge to kill.
81 fail.
So
So maybe
they're all like talking, all the three people by the fire.
yeah.
They're having a conversation back and forth, but you can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, I was
So
thinking
you're trying to hear what they're saying.
I might push by, like trying to lean forward. Maybe I'm perched by something that could
Yeah.
topple down with a crash
Uh-huh.
if I fail.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you push and fail, that's what would happen.
Let's
is you,
get this party started.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Nice.
Yes.
Always push.
Good job.
Regular success.
Unless you're in a car.
Okay, yeah. So you lean forward, and you acclimate to the other sounds that are keeping you from hearing them. There's like the loud pops from the fire, and then people talking over each other. But as you listen, you start to hear a few things that stick out to you that really catch your attention. So multiple times in the random conversation that's about this story or that story, or what I would do here, what I would do there, references are made to the eye in the sky, and sometimes the terror from the stars, and other times the great mind. And each time it's said as if it's a separate sentence and with reverence and fear.
Almost like a amen or
Yeah.
like the end of a prayer type. Okay.
Yeah. Or like, warding off of, a curse or something. But you also notice, well, anyway, that's what you hear. And then you also notice that each time somebody says that, no matter who said it, every one of them looks up at the same point in the sky, reflexively, like every time.
Well, that gives me the willies, so I'll make sure I'm good and crouched where I can see them, but they can't see me,
You take a look at that same spot in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, I will. Yeah, I'll trace what they're trying to scope, what they're looking at, if I can.
Yeah, I mean, you can look up at the sky. And there's stars up there. So,
I think these people are crazy.
Roll your Cthulhu.
do you
Let's see
have?
if
Well, hang on. Let's look
I
at.
don't have even a percent.
Well, you still got the. Well, do you?
It starts at 0, I believe.
Yeah. I was wondering if you still potentially have the 1% chance.
Yeah, let me look at this real quick and see if you got something you could use.
What is it, like astronomy
Do
or
they have that? Yeah.
stargazing?
Yeah, they have it's a sub skill, I believe, for science.
Yeah.
Like any of the sciences, you go by the particular school or group of science. So biology, geology, so on.
Could occult work, but you don't know the proper names?
I mean, natural world might have
Natural world.
I was going to
with,
say,
constellations and whatnot.
do a natural world.
Okay, so I'll look up at that point in the sky and try out a natural world. But I rolled a 48, and I think they're off their rocker. So
Right.
whatever
Blind.
they're looking at,
They
is
are all
probably not
clearly
there.
drunk.
Yeah,
Blind,
as well.
drunk, and
right. So they
Plus-
seeing stuff that I'd have to be in the same state to see.
What is it? I guess we're not far into prohibition. I was going to say, plus, like, there's probably been rumors of people just drinking horrible stuff
Yeah.
that they think is alcohol, and it just doing
Going
all sorts
blind
of
and-
stuff to them. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're clearly far gone with drink, and you can tell just by looking at them. And so who knows what they're looking at? I mean, randomly they'll just turn around and start pissing, and they'll fall down and stand up and then take a swing and then give a hug. They're just totally blasted. But it does catch your attention that every time those particular phrases are said, they all look in that same spot, no matter how drunk they are. Now, Oscar and Tony, you go along this back of this barn, and you find it does have a small man-sized door on the northeastern corner of it on the back that's locked, or I should say closed.
Okay.
But that's what you see back here. And you're both starting to smell. You smell a very powerful scent of manure. And then both of you give me a listen. All right. So both of you also start to hear as you come along and you get around to the back of that barn, you immediately start hearing these very low, menacing grunting and growling sounds. And I mean, it's very disconcerting. It sounds like something dangerous, but Oscar, you recognize it as pigs right away. But Tony, you don't recognize it. It's not something
Never
you've heard before.
this sound in my life.
Sand
It's
check.
obviously
I've lost sanity
a,
Sudden pig noises. Dude, it's freaky.
They
man.
are, yeah. It's very frightening at nighttime when you can't
It
see them.
is. There's a couple times walking on the greenbelt where it would disappear, and they'd have pigs on the other side of a
Yeah.
fence.
Yeah.
Especially walking it late at night, heading home, man.
So anyway, you smell manure, and you can hear that sound coming from up ahead.
All right. Do I feel Tony tensing up or anything?
Yeah, I'll reach out and like to stop Herman or to
Yeah.
stop Oscar. Be like, oh wait, there's
Yeah.
something up ahead.
Yeah, you can tell he's definitely concerned about that sound.
I'll give kind of like a low chuckle. It's just hogs.
Yeah.
All right,
That
I'll
said, I think I might have
relax
a worrisome,
just a little bit.
I might have a worrisome idea of what they're doing to the bodies.
I'll give him an inquisitive look because it doesn't click. Like I don't imagine I've spent enough time around people raising pigs or who had them or them in general to know that they'll eat damn near anything.
Yeah. I swear you city folk don't know anything, do ya? Hogs will eat anything.
Even a man.
They'll eat a man real quick.
Okay.
I don't know whether he's joking or not, so I'll roll with it.
Farmer trips and falls in his pen if his pigs ain't full up. Farmer never gets out of the pen.
All right. So you've got that door and you've got those sounds. What would you like to do from here?
I'm gonna head towards the door.
Does that door lead into where the sounds are coming from?
No.
This is farmhouse door.
Okay.
Yeah. This is
The pigs are in the house.
this is the barn door. It's just on the back of the barn. But the pig sounds are coming from the other side of the barn, the north side.
Okay, so we're not at the house yet?
No.
All right, so yeah,
No, it's a door on the back side of the barn. It's a human-sized door, not a big barn door, but it's closed. And so you come up to that, and that's right at the corner, pretty much. So from there, you can see the fence of the hog pen that butts up against the north side of the barn. But anyways, so the door is not open.
Mm-hmm.
and it appears to be locked when you try to open it.
Am I missing something here? I thought we were heading towards the farmhouse.
Right, but you have to go around the
Okay.
back of the
just
barn.
making sure.
So we haven't got to the farmhouse yet.
All right. Yeah. I'm just going to ignore it then. Focus on the farmhouse.
Okay.
So.
All right. So right as you pass that corner, that back corner of the barn, then you've got the hog pen,
Mm-hmm.
and there's enough moonlight that you can see the hogs rooting around in there, and there's quite a few of them. They're very, very big. But then past the hog pen, there's some more open ground, but with them by the fire and not even looking that direction, it's probably not dangerous. But
Right.
both of you do a spot hidden as you're making your way across there.
Nice.
Okay. So both of you spot as you're skirting around that fence, you look in that hog pen, you see that there's at least 2 distinct human corpses that they're eating in there.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
And there's not enough left to determine what they were, but you can tell, there's clothing, and then you can see the bones and the torn flesh.
As I hold it together, I'm not going to puke at least.
Yeah, so it is disconcerting, but luckily it's dark enough that you're not really catching the actual act of the eating. You just know that that's what's happening in there. So anyway, so that's what you see there, and that makes it clear that people are being fed to these, and that that's what happens to the bodies that get brought out here. But then you make it to
there's 2 of them. Maybe we should investigate that a little bit.
It's a big hog pen, so just because it's dark, the part you can see, there's a couple. There could be more.
Okay. Yeah.
Are they near enough to the
Petunia
fence?
ended up.
The corpses?
Not to reach, no, not without going in there.
Really don't feel like wading through pig crap here, Tony.
We can assume that if she's there, or if she's dead, then this is probably where she is.
All right, stay here.
I'll climb over the fence and start making my way.
All right, to one of the bodies.
Yeah.
So the closest one you can reach is the upper portion of a torso minus the head and right shoulder.
Okay.
And so from this torso, you can detect that it was a male.
All right. Then I'll head over to the... any distinguishing marks, like a
No.
sheriff's badge or anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then I'll head on over to the next nearest one, hopefully not disturbing any of the hogs.
Yeah, they don't pay you any mind.
Okay.
Their attention's focused on the food that they're eating. So the next one that you can see, you've got like a pelvis and left leg.
All right.
And most of the meat's been taken off of the left leg as well.
Okay.
So the only thing left on this one of any note is a shoe on that left foot, and it's a woman's shoe. But
Nothing that like Petunia would have worn.
no.
Okay.
No.
All right. Yeah, I'll make my way back to Tony.
Not enough of those bodies left, but one's a man and the other was a woman. Now I gotta try to scrape as much of this pig crap off me as I can before we get near that house. Smell me a mile away.
Okay, and so then you carry on and you make it to the back side of that house. Now, the front right corner of that wraparound porch had collapsed completely. And on the back side of the house, you can see that the roof part of that porch is fine, but there's no more wood where people would have walked. So it's basically just muddy ground back here. And it looks like they've been using it for firewood, because you can see they've got like piles of it stacked up where they've torn it off of the porch and they're using it for firewood. Also, there's no lights coming through any windows on the back side of the house. So that's what you see there. Now, it looks like you could get up to the back door, and then further along that back wall towards the left-hand corner, there is a window that's open, or I should say missing, and you could probably climb up through there, but you can't see what's inside of it.
I ain't too good at climbing, Tony. We're going to have to go through the house if we want to check it. Is there any sort of, like, cellar or basement?
Do a spot hidden.
You want one from me too?
Yeah.
94.
Extreme
Nice roll.
success. Thank you.
Yeah, so back here you can see that they have that this house did have a storm cellar at one point. There's like big portions of the roof that had collapsed that now rest on top of that door. Like it looks like it hasn't been used, and I mean there's like weeds growing on it.
Okay.
So, but you can see where it was, but it clearly hasn't been used.
All right. Looks like they're not using that. Inside? Are we risking it, Tony?
And let's check the windows, and then we can decide whether or not we want to go in based on what we see.
I'll,
And if we move quickly, we've only seen that one truck pull up, right? And there's only one person. So if we only see one in the house, I think we can move quickly enough on him, and get the drop, and then go secure those others with Robbie's help.
all right. I'll motion for him to pick a way around the house he wants to circle. I'll meet you on the other side.
I'll nod and kind of point off with gesture with the rifle over. Would that be to my right? Kind of taking finishing the long circuit,
Okay.
and then tell him same thing. See you on the other side, and start creeping around.
Yeah, I'll start looking for any windows that have blinds or shutters open, listening for any noises of people talking or whispering, snoring, stuff like that.
Okay. Rob, so as you're continuing watch here and listening to him talk, you hear like there's some sound that draws their attention. You didn't hear it, but they all stop and they turn and look at the same time at this bench that's over behind them. And one of them goes over and he lifts up this odd looking device. It looks like it's got some crystals on it, and he holds it up to his ear.
It's like what the
Yeah. And
cop had.
yeah, do a listen.
Hard success.
All right. So you can hear a voice come through it that you recognize as Deputy Alexander. And he says, "Is Jensen back yet?" And the person responds, "No." And then that voice says, "Well, he ought to be there soon. When he gets there, tell him to remember that he's supposed to be here in the morning."
Okay.
So, and then which side of the house were you going to check, Oscar?
Don't know. I was just going the opposite way John was. So
Okay.
you can and then we were going to meet at essentially the opposite side of the house.
All right. So you'll have to zoom in, but I'll put your tokens here.
I didn't know I was that zoomed
Yeah,
out. That
it's
house
bad.
is a lot bigger.
Yeah,
So-
it's huge.
So Tony was going along this side.
All right, yeah.
Yep.
So I'll head along this
You
side.
want to go along this side.
Yep.
And then the bad guys are here by the fire. Now, on this side, Oscar, it would be, you would need a stealth roll to get up on the porch, off of the ground and up onto the porch. If you wanted to do it quietly, you'd need a stealth roll. Also, you don't see any lights coming through the windows on this side of the house.
Okay.
Are there lights over on my side?
Yeah, there are. Up closer towards the front.
No, I'm kind of second guessing it because we'd have to pass in front of the house where that fire is. I don't know. They might be drunk enough. Yeah, let's just stick with the plan. So I'll be heading. What is it? Is there a porch on this side that I'm on?
Yeah.
I almost think we might need to replan this, because I had pictured us coming from a different direction.
So just head back around and go in through the back.
Yeah.
Or is there a door in the back, or are we going through a window?
There's a door, but it's closed, and you're not. And it'd be sort of a climb to get up to it because of the way they tore off the porch.
Okay.
And then there's a window that's like missing that you could go through
The window might be the way to go.
over here on this side where Tony is. Yeah, there's a window here.
Okay.
So
All right. I'll give you a boost.
All right. Up
I don't think you want to touch my shoes.
all right.
Or have them on my back or shoulders.
Yeah. So you guys can make it in through that window, and that brings you into, the what passes for a kitchen, and it obviously still sees some use, but there's no one in there at the moment, and there's no lights now. Once you get in, it's extremely dark in here, so you'll not be able to see unless you have some light source.
And I'll pull out my lighter, and I'll kind of keep it cupped as well as I can in my offhand.
Okay.
Try to just enough for us to see, hopefully. And I'll look around for I don't know, some sort of light source that hopefully we can keep hooded pretty easily.
Like a candle or a lantern
Well,
or something?
There is a lantern in here.
Yeah.
Is
But
it
that's
hooded or no?
no, it's just a normal
Normal? I don't know if we...
lantern.
I mean, I believe that some of those were adjustable, but that's going to be a pretty open light source. Do we see any lights coming from under a doorway or anything like that? From where that front of the house would have been?
Yeah. So from inside the kitchen there, you can see a hallway that leads, towards the front of the house. And then there is one door where light's coming through underneath it into that hallway, closer
there
to the
was
front
lights
corner of the
on
house.
coming through a window that I had seen
Yeah.
up towards the front. So I imagine that this will take us to the front.
All right.
Start creeping that way.
Yep. Keep your ears out.
All right. So you guys going to sneak up that way?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Stealth.
The hell yeah. Extreme success.
I'm gonna push that.
Damn near critical success.
Bump into something.
Yeah. If you push it and you fail, there's the light is so poor that you trip on something and make
All
a
right.
clatter.
All right, you damn game. Here we go. All right.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, it's pretty easy to move quietly through that hallway, and you reach that door where you can see light coming underneath.
All right. I'll close my lighter and
So I should say you pass two doors under which no light comes, and then you reach the door
Okay.
where there's light.
Can we do a listen at each door, see if I hear anything from the other side?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Hmm.
Definitely not at that one. And no.
Okay. Yeah, you don't hear anything at all.
all right, but at this door with light under it, hang out for a second, see if there's anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
try it again.
I'll do it this time too.
Good job.
Okay. Yeah. So you put your ear to that door and listen, and you hear a faint whimpering sound and some rustling like of cloth coming from the other side.
I'll lean over to Tony. There's something in there. Hearing a whimpering, rustling.
It was just all right. Let's move slowly then.
Into the room or past it?
Yeah,
All right.
into it. It was
All right,
no jumpy fingers.
I'll ready my gun. Don't worry, I'm not that hair trigger deputy.
It's like
And
give
I'll-
a low chuckle as we start to push open
Yeah.
the door.
Yeah, I'll put one hand on the knob, and I guess because he's got the long gun, I'm expecting him to kind of take up position. Is that
Yep.
all right? So then I'll, as stealthily as I can, open the door, let it swing inward or outward.
Okay.
And I'll start as soon as there's enough room. I'll start to move into the room with
All right, so-
rifle raised up.
Yeah. So you open this door, and it's a small room, and there's like a almost dead candle sputtering on a table, and then on a bed is a woman, and she's chained up to the bedposts, and it's immediately clear when you enter what she has been enduring here as a prisoner. And she sees you, and she's just got a flat. She doesn't really react. She notices you, but she doesn't have a hopeful look or a scared look. She just looks
Resigned.
at you. Yeah.
All right. So as much as I would want to immediately help her, I also know that that's probably not the best idea to have someone running around. So I'll put my finger to my lips and I'll quiet voice just tell her that we're gonna get you out of here, but first we've got to make sure that there's no one to stop us, and we'll be back. And I'll start to back out of the room.
So this is that woman that you see.
Any missing posters or something like that in town? Does she look familiar in any way?
No.
Okay.
No. It's the first time you've ever seen her.
With the lion on it, I imagine they probably quieted everybody if she's not just one of those passing throughs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you said to her, what did you say?
Said that we're gonna get you out of here, but first we need to make sure that there is no one left to stop us, and
Okay.
just motioned her to be quiet, and that we'll be back to to get her out, and then I'll start backing out of the room, and let Oscar know that we'll need to come back for her.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not safe to have her running around.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll nod to him. I was keeping an eye down the hall
Okay.
while he was going in.
This is definitely a house of horrors, though.
You can say that again.
All right, so looking down the hall, you didn't see anything. I mean, that hall goes for a few more feet and then curves to the left, which would be towards the front, what you know to be the front of the house. So this would be, following general house building plans, this would be the last room in this hallway
Okay.
that you're at.
Where have we come across the stairwell yet? Going up?
No, but you know where it is.
Okay.
You've been in enough of these houses to know that it, you continue on and turn to your left at that hallway, and you'd enter, like the entryway of the home.
Okay.
And their stairwell would be there.
Are we close enough to the front of the house at that point where we got to worry about the light from my lighter?
No,
Okay.
actually, yeah, you could. There's enough light coming from somewhere up there that you can see just fine now.
All right, so I'll keep it put away and keep my gun out now, and I'll start heading up those stairs.
Yeah, so you come around that corner then, and you can see the entryway, and there's the front door, which is open a crack, and it's just sort of like swaying a bit, and you can hear the men out there by the fire now, and then there is the stairway that leads up, and it's like there's a couple holes in it where it's just totally missing the wood, but otherwise it's sturdy enough to hold your weight, and that takes you up to the second floor there. Now, are you going with him, Tony?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you reach the second floor, do a spot hidden up there.
Oh, nice critical success, Oscar.
Thank you.
All right, and then Rob, do a listen.
As you got X-ray vision now, you can see the world.
My grandfather's spirit is telling me.
Okay.
Good job, Rob.
Yeah.
So, Oscar, you guys get up to the second floor, and there's a long hallway that would probably wrap around this second floor, but almost all of the second floor's collapsed in. So, and you can tell by the footprints, the dirty footprints on the floor, that there's only one usable room up here that it is used regularly. There's no light coming from underneath it, but you can see that's somebody does use that room.
All right. Does this stairwell, is it jackknife back and go up to the third floor, or is the third floor no longer accessible?
Yeah, it does, but yeah, you can see from the bottom of it that the third floor is completely blocked.
All right. I'll motion
more
over
room to clear then.
Yeah, I'll motion over to the door and have Tony get in position.
Yeah,
Sorry, Rob. Don't worry, he'll hit the fan.
Yeah, it will. Let's do a listen at this door real quick.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Rob, you're
Nope.
still keeping watch on these.
Yep.
But now you hear the sound of a approaching truck down the driveway, because it's just distinct. It's a engine being overworked, and then metal being twisted as it's bouncing along potholes, and
Probably not enough oil either.
yeah.
But we knew that was coming.
But
They'll hear it in the house, too.
they
Plus-
are approaching. Yeah.
Mr. Spates has his watch. Hopefully you guys are almost done in there.
Okay. So yeah, you don't hear anything at that door.
All right, I'll open it if it's unlocked and let Tony head on in first.
Yeah, it is unlocked, but you'll need light up here now.
Okay. Yeah. I guess seeing that's dark in there, I'll put away my gun and pull out the lighter and provide him the light.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I have my rifle raised.
All right. So you open this, and it's a rather large room that might have once been nice. The only thing left in here in the way of furniture is a bed, and you see a a woman's corpse on that bed. And also, you can determine what she experienced as a prisoner here. But she's clearly dead.
All right.
All right. Well, we know that the house is clear then, so I think it's time to take care of our friends outside. 'Cause, I'm not feeling very
Pleasant.
lenient right now.
Yeah, so the death was, based by the state of the body, the death was rather recent. Let me see if I have a... Here is what that woman looked like. You don't recognize her, but you might remember her just in case.
Was she one of the ones that was bugging the deputy?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. But yeah, so she's dead there. And yeah, so what do you do?
Well,
Oh.
that was my suggestion. Is let's say we go take care of our friends outside.
I agree.
But first, I'm going to do a quick once-over of this room, because it's somebody's room,
Yeah.
most likely, like a private room, best I could tell, right? Because
Yeah.
of the footprints, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll give a quick once-over of this room.
Okay, so in this room, other than the bed, there's just the one wall is taken up by, you've got some suitcases, duffel bags, even an old style trunk over on that side of the...
I was wondering where they were
Room.
disposing of valuables.
Right.
I'm going to figure this is it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, as you get closer, you can see that, like the very corner is a pile of billfolds and wallets and purses that have been rifled through. So,
Looks like my theory was right, Tony.
I'll hold up
Yeah.
a billfold and
All right. I've seen enough. Let's get in position.
Yep.
Hopefully Robbie hasn't fallen asleep.
He'll do his part.
Yeah, I know.
I'll start heading back down the stairs and up to where that front door is, and figure quick plan would be one of us hole up in a window,
mm-hmm.
and then the other can at least into the doorway, see if we can get them to just surrender rather than taking them by force. But and again, I'm not feeling very merciful if they don't want to cooperate immediately.
I like your plan. I'll do the talking. You set up by that window with that rifle. And if they twitch, just start shooting them.
Yep.
I ain't feeling in a kind mood.
So I'll post up by a window, try to keep out of sight until Oscar's ready.
Yeah, I'll get by the front door and I'll open it. And once I see that Tony's at the ready, I'll shout out for him to. Well, I'll roleplay that, I guess.
okay.
So
All right. Yeah. So you guys are
I
getting
guess
into
what's the
position
time
there.
frame here from us and that truck that Robbie heard?
Yeah. So you guys are getting into position, and then you hear the truck as it's reaching the yard there.
all right.
So,
As
Rob, that truck pulls in, and it comes to a stop pretty close to you. On the outer edge of that junkyard there where you're hiding.
Yeah, I'll train my sights on those guys as they're getting out, or if it's just the one guy.
Yeah. So it comes in, it swings around a little bit, so it's pointing towards the fire, and then it backs up a bit. And then it comes to a stop pretty close to that body that they dumped on the ground that nobody ever bothered with.
Still there, yeah.
Yeah. And then you see the occupants get out, and they go around and they open up that tailgate and start pulling the bodies out on the ground. And that's what you guys see as well from your position at the house.
All right.
And this is the bodies that Mr. Spates was talking about, the ones that just got shot.
Well, they're wrapped in tarps, so you don't know.
Okay.
All right.
But do a spot hidden. Actually, from where you guys are too, you can do a spot hidden.
Fail. But yeah, I'll make sure I'm pointing my gun at him from where I'm hiding.
as
All right,
I'll
so-
spend the one luck to succeed.
Okay. So Oscar and Tony, you both can see where they're starting to pull out the bodies. And it means nothing to you, Oscar, that there's 3 bodies. But it does mean something to you, Tony, that there's
An extra ones from somewhere.
3 bodies.
Yeah, there's one too many. As I'll if I can, whisper over to Oscar to let's wait till they're a little bit closer to the others before we move.
I'll nod.
Okay.
And then just out of habit, I'll check the chamber on the 45 again. Nothing's changed.
Probably a good idea is I'll start to draw back that bolt and make sure that that I've got one chambered.
Oscar's the type of guy that, unless he's ready to go, usually does not keep one chambered, except in the 45, which is meant to be more in that way.
I will as quietly as I can load around into it. Just draw the bolt back all the way and pull it forward and down.
All right. So at this point, there's not much need for being quiet because they're making so much noise pulling these bodies out. And, Jensen, who people are calling Freddy when they come up to help, and he's griping quite a bit about the extra work and how he missed a lot of drinking time by having to go into town. The one gives him the message and said, Alexander said to remind you need to be there in the morning, and that sets him on a, string of curses. And he of course insists that the next time he sees Deputy Alexander, he's going to finally take care of business, which, nobody else seems to believe, but nobody's going to argue with him either because he's clearly the leader of this group. But, so that's what the situation looks like right now. They're pulling these corpses out and unceremoniously dumping them on the ground there. So you've got Freddy and his passenger and one of the other remaining guys. And then the last one is still over by the fire. And then
there's too much darkness for them to scatter through right now. So I would say we wait until they're start to come up to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So
does it look like he's going to take back to drinking, or is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody says, why don't we just dump them in now? And then he says, you don't want to overfeed the pigs because it'll upset their stomachs. And the rest of them think that that's the most hilarious thing that's ever been said. So they're set off in fits of laughter there. But then they make their way back over to the fire. One of them makes mention of the terror in the sky, and they all look to that same point. Yeah. So now you're looking at them all around this fire, which seems to never die down. They've got a great supply of wood and a never-ending supply of whiskey that they keep producing and passing around.
Probably confiscating it. I'll open the door, and I'll be crouched low, and I won't put myself in the frame, but I'll call out around it. Right? You good with that now, Tony?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I'll pop up into the window there as well. As if I need to break it out, I'll wait till he starts talking to break it out, so I could set up as a rest on that windowsill.
Okay.
All right.
And so you pop out of the door and say,
I'll be more persuasive is what I'm going to try to go for, and I'll be like, "We got you boys dead to rights. Give yourselves up. We'll take you to the cops."
okay. And then Rob, you hear this.
Yeah, so
That's a surprise.
yeah.
But what do you do?
Well, I'm suddenly alert now, and so I just make sure I got everything shouldered up properly, and I'm picking a target, just waiting to see what happens for now.
Okay. All right.
Do
So
any of them even twitch wrong?
yeah, they do. They all react in different ways. So it startles all of them, obviously, and their heads all whip around to look in Oscar's direction. But because of where they're standing, so close to the fire, it's clear immediately that none of them can actually see you. So that, like, the leader there, he's starting to step forward, trying to shield his eyes. And
I'll
he's like,
shoot him.
Yeah, I was about to too.
Okay. All right. Yeah, do your... So you got a shotgun.
He's got the 30-06. He's got the shotgun. Travis has the shotgun, and I got a pistol.
So, yeah, Tony...
You think, should I push that one?
35%.
Dude,
I
I thought you were...
were you a lot better with the shotgun? Oh, it's like, no, that's the same skill.
Yeah, it's the same
man.
skill. I'm better with my hands.
Which I thought was perfect that he was an ex-police officer and is such a bad shot.
Yeah.
Because generally cops are terrible.
Oh, I can shoot
Yeah.
Where's
better
my-
than that guy.
There it is. So I'll take a shot at him too.
All right, so we see Tony went, and he fires his rifle. And
Did you
then-
want to push it, John, or are you good with it?
I mean, what? Probably jam.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I think I'll let the wide shot stand.
Okay.
We'll call it a warning.
shot.
Yeah, it's a warning shot. And then I'll work that volt again.
Okay. Yeah. So you shoot and you miss, and Freddy instinctively, everybody actually there instinctively ducks, but then
The
Oscar
warning's free.
lets out a shot from his pistol, and that hits. So here, so you can see the NPCs now.
So it was Freddy that was twitchy.
I'll put it on him. Yeah. Let's see, Freddy.
All right. Want me to roll my damage?
Yeah. So go ahead and roll damage.
Nice.
Instant
death. So stands up, crouches down. You were gonna gut shot him, but it went into his head instead.
I
Yeah.
wasn't going to gut shot him. F all these guys.
Well, you
So,
anticipated the move then.
So that was your warning. Next
Okay.
time, all of you are dead.
All right. So that's let's see. So that was Oscar, and then now Rob, do you want to take an action in this surprise round here?
Fire it up. Fire it up.
No, I'll
Yep.
keep my
See.
my advantage for now of them not knowing I'm here. And he did just say that was the warning. So this is your warning now.
This is your warning from
And then when the last
behind.
guy's alive,
It's
we'll
a
be like,
player
all right.
warning.
Yeah.
Also,
Now we need an in-character warning.
also, it isn't unheard of for this to start off a chain
Yeah,
of.
well, I was just thinking about how the twist to this tale is we were going to find out we were from this town all along. Because we'd like, this town's
Because of
weird.
how-
They just shoot a guy.
They just shoot people.
in the head.
Okay.
Mother of God.
As they weren't
My
setting up
ancestors
an
moved
ambush,
here
though,
100
man. They just ran into the house and did it. As we
Right,
were
right.
ready to ambush.
No, but I don't have a problem with it. I'm not going to shoot right now.
No,
because
I
of what
like
he
your
said, so.
I like your reasoning. Why is there? a
well,
painting of my
we also said
grandfather
if they
in the
start
mayor's
coming
house?
to the house, then he lets
Right,
off.
yeah. But I haven't heard a good 75% of your side of it. So
Yeah.
Okay. So Oscar's shot takes the top of Freddie Jensen's head off, and he lets out a thunderous fart and falls backward into the fire. And then one of the other guys, he stops and looks at some distant point in the sky, and he screams that the eye will see me. The eye will see me. And he just keeps going. Another one grabs up a hatchet and rushes the front door of the house.
All right.
Braden, can I
And
can I take the take aim action? I totally forgot about it, but
you had your chance. Yeah, you can. Who do you want to take aim at?
whoever's closest.
Well, the one who is closest ends up being the remaining one who rushes over towards the truck.
Oh yeah, because that's what I was hoping to wait for, is to keep somebody from leaving.
Yeah, but he rushes to the passenger side and he's reaching in there for something.
Okay.
He's got a gun.
And so when you see him
opportunity.
pop back out, you see that he's got a Thompson submachine gun.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I just wanted to use my action to take aim. I think it gives me like a bonus die
Yeah.
on my next one when I shoot. So
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have enough action to start
Unload.
shooting, but he does get a hold of the Thompson and turn back to face towards the house. So that brings us back to Tony. And Tony, you were in a window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see the one who's shouting at the sky, and you can see the one who's at the truck, but the one who rushed the house is close enough to the house now that you don't have an angle on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
As well, I will. I'll fire at the one that is shouting at the sky.
quit
Okay.
that hollering.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
that's a fumble too.
Oh,
Looks like we're gonna go to the hands.
All right. Yeah. So you let off another shot, and then
As,
What are the
did I
chances you shoot
probably
Robbie?
worked that bolt a little too... Oh, no, it's a fumble as in something bad, huh?
Yeah, the malfunction
Uh-oh.
for most of the rifles, I think, is 100.
yeah. So yeah, what is it for that 30-06? What's the 90?
My recollection is 100 for
Like a catastrophic failure.
the 30-06. Yeah, for the malfunction, the weapon malfunction. That's what a shotgun is.
Let's see, bolt action 30-06 malfunction is 100. Yeah.
But what's the fumble? Well, do you got a table
Well, his
for it?
fumble's based on his skill. Since he's below 50, then he has a 96 and up would be a fumble for him.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean what is the fumble?
Yeah.
Who knows? What's
So
it
you're gonna have
be?
to you got to figure out a fumble for him.
Yeah.
Increase the horror.
He could have
rule of thumb.
stovepiped the reload, and he has to spend the rest of his round clearing it.
Yeah, that's what I was
Next round,
thinking.
I guess. He could like, I don't know. There's a bunch. Do they have a easy access table somewhere?
Yeah, that but that sounds good with me. You just
Okay.
you didn't close the breach all the way, and you tried to fire, it didn't work. You're gonna have to take your next action to figure out what you did and get the weapon in working order again.
Is it maybe your blood's up a little bit? You're not used to actual firefights or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you're a bit.
how many shootouts do you think I was in on the Boston PD? What my firearm skill was pretty low. I figured
Right.
because of that.
You're probably
Yeah.
a beat cop. You're probably beating people with a
Yeah.
billy club.
Exactly. That's kind of
Yeah.
what I figured it was. As I
Or
was-
you were shooting with a revolver, so you didn't have to work the action every time your little. police
my
special.
handgun skills even lower, so I was just busting heads, man. That's what we did.
But
on-
you got your first round in there. No
I
problem.
did.
It was after your
did.
blood was up, you tried to get the other one in, and then didn't do it right.
All right. So let's see. Well, wait a minute. Maybe a fumble's worse than I thought.
Increase the horror.
Anyway,
Mhm.
I'll
I'm sure you'll get another chance at
I'll look
a
into
skill
that.
that low for.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll look into that another time. So, yeah, so you let off or you try to shoot. It's not working. So you've got to figure out what's going on with your weapon there, and that'll bring us to you, Oscar.
All right. Is the guy that picked up the hatchet in point blank range yet?
Yeah.
15 yards. All
He
right.
is. Yeah, you're gonna have to, because of the angle, you'll have to open the door a little bit more than you had it. But
Yeah, I'll
yeah, point
lean
blank.
on out and I'll put two in them at
So
normal.
So you'd be aiming at Roddy Matthews on the combat tracker there.
All right. And so this will be at normal roll because it'll negate the penalty, him being point blank.
Yeah.
All right. First. Ooh.
Damn.
Second.
Nice.
31.
All right. Yeah. So that's a hit there.
Is he going to dodge or anything? Or
Yeah, he'll try.
all right.
Let's try here. Not enough. So go ahead and let's do damage.
It's a hard success. Did that add up right?
Yeah. Let's see.
What is the difference between a hard success with a handgun and just nothing?
Just
Okay.
extreme is where you get the impale damage.
All right.
Should we use the hit location table?
Up
Let's
to
see
you.
how yours,
Yeah.
the Fantasy Grounds one.
I always like hit location. Where is it?
It's hilarious to have triangulated fire. I'll get somebody in the the left leg.
Yeah, where'd it go?
Now remember, boys, aim for the left leg.
Or the left hand. Or the left foot. Anything on that left side is
Do
really
you-
good.
Do you guys have a tables
Alright.
tab over there on your sidebar?
I see it, but it's empty.
Yeah, empty for me too.
Yeah, empty.
So what? Only I can.
GM tool.
Yeah. Screw it. We won't do it unless I'm shooting at you guys.
All right.
All right. So yeah. So you shoot him, and you hit him in the chest.
Oh, hold on. Mine's not empty.
Yours isn't?
Is what was the roll?
It was a hard success, 31 out of 75.
Oh no, what was the D20?
Oh, okay.
It was it a 4, Brandon?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was his damage.
That was
Oh.
for his damage. It was a 43. But you would just roll it again. Just click the little roll button, and that'll give you the.
Yeah, roll a D20.
Mm.
Because that's what the hit location is. An 18 is the left arm.
All right.
Was,
So yeah. So
Nice.
you You do hit him, but he still keeps on coming. Now, Rob, that brings us to you.
All right, so that was Stanley McGarvey.
Yeah, so Stanley McGarvey's the one you would aim at that's nearby. He's got the Thompson.
Well, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I'm not going to let that guy open up on my new friends. So what's my distance from him?
So from where you are, you're about, 20 feet.
So within the 10 yards?
Yeah.
Okay. But not, I don't think, within my point blank, which is 11 feet. So I get just the one bonus for the aim.
Yeah.
You can shoot twice with this if you want.
Oh, is it the two barrel?
No, it's a lever action.
Oh, okay. No, I'll just do the one. So I got my bonus. I'm not that good of a shot.
So 46
if you
plus
hit, I'll
Oh,
roll your
man.
hit location. What was that?
It's with the bonus die. Just two
nice.
high rolls.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess he's still by the car.
Yeah, he's by the
Yeah.
truck.
I suggest you scoot back some into that junk.
yeah.
Robbie, being a mean, lean, boxing street tough, probably has enough of a head on him to do that.
Right. I think I was already in cover.
Okay.
Double cover.
Get hidden.
All right. So, Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy that you shot, he's got a hatchet, and he comes barreling into you, and he swings his hatchet at you.
All right.
So you can dodge or fight back.
I'll fight back with brawl.
Okay. So he failed.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So he takes this massive overhand swing with this hatchet, but misses, and you shove him, and it's but no damage is done here. And then Roland, whose scream is still continuing, he takes off running into the darkness at a speed that doesn't seem realistic to anybody watching. As a matter of fact, it almost seems to you, Rob, like his body's not matching the speed that he's moving. And but very quickly disappears into the darkness across the field. Even the moonlight isn't enough to see him after he gets out of the fire. So you shot at Stanley McGarvey. He's got this Thompson machine gun. You shot at him, and he's on the other side of this truck, and he was aiming at the house, and then shoot. So he ducks, and he turns around, and he's looking at you, and he's going to try and shoot you with this submachine gun here.
Yeah, I'll duck for cover if I see that happening.
If I'd known I was the only one with a decent gun skill, I think I would have changed who was who.
Okay. All right. So then he starts letting off shots here, which I don't see.
Do they have a good way of handling it in this for Fantasy Grounds?
Yeah, they do. I set it up on the wrong guy. Okay, we'll just do that one. All right. Yeah. So he turns around, firing at you, but you're back in the. You want to do your. Well, I guess you don't need to. But you're back in the junkyard there, hiding behind cars, and so these bullets, go slamming into the metal or whatever, but none of them find you. And I'll bring us back to Tony. So Tony, you've got to figure out how come your gun didn't fire.
Well, what I was thinking is since the guy was shooting at ran off, we got a guy with a full auto machine gun or submachine gun out there, and this guy trying to attack with a hatchet. I'll probably just go and do what I do best and head over and start fisticuffing the guy with the hatchet.
Okay, the
make
one
it over to the
Oh yeah.
doorway. Yeah.
Yep.
So the one that charged the house and that's fighting Oscar is
Okay.
rush in and
beat 'em
offer some assistance. Yep. Really? Even that?
You can't push combat rolls? Yeah.
Better use up the rest of that luck.
Better. Yep.
Don't.
As I'll use it.
No.
And then we'll die. No, I'll keep my 14 luck. As I'll just come rushing in from the side and throw a wild swing. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to attack him.
Do I get a bonus for two people fighting the same person?
Who else is fighting him?
Technically
Well,
me.
Yeah.
Oh, because he came
Oscar.
up and
No.
it's about defending against
Not
attacks,
until he
right?
has.
Okay.
Yeah. Not until he's had to dodge or fight back. But he is going to fight back. So you're crazy if you think he's not. So he'll do his brawl. Oh, he's successful.
Mm-mm.
Extreme success. So 3 damage to you, Tony. Puts an elbow right across your chin.
'Cause I thought he had a hatchet.
Yeah, but he didn't hit you with the
okay.
hatchet. Oscar.
What are the penalties for shooting at melee range? Are there any?
Yeah, I think there's just adding a penalty die.
But then
Right.
I'm point blank, so it gets negated unless I'm capping multiple times.
Right, I think. But Brandon might have a nice handy list there. I know they have a table of all the bonus penalty die things for firearms.
Yeah, so let's see.
Because it's also very easy for me to think of D&D and just be like, oh, there's probably a penalty for that.
So yeah, one penalty for firing into melee, but then you'd get a bonus for the
Also lines up an easy fumble.
point blank. But then if you did fumble, you would hit your ally. But yeah, the bonus and the penalty would cancel each other out.
It's weird. Like, am I firing into melee? Because I'm in the melee. I'm not outside the melee.
Well, I think if you start arguing that, you're just...
That's the road to madness.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take the penalty die, and I'll cancel it out with the point blank, and I'll just try to put one in them.
Okay.
23.
Nice.
That's an extreme.
Well, hard, right? You need to spend 9 for extra.
Oh, okay. No, it messes me up with
Yeah,
the
when you
spend.
see that is very nice that they do the math for
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if he dodges.
All right.
Which he's already defended, so you actually would have got another. So now that I think about it, you would have got another bonus die because he's outnumbered. But anyway, yeah, go ahead and do the damage.
Oh, no. If I would have had another, I would have just taken another shot, and it would have still been at the same bonus. So,
Yeah, roll damage. It should just max it out.
there we go. Well, no, it's just a hard. Well,
Rolled max, though.
Nice. Yeah. So another shot to his head, and then he slumps to the floor at your feet.
all right.
He's dead.
Then I'll move out of the house and try. This is a porch area?
Yeah, it's the front porch.
All right. I know there probably ain't too much cover, but I'll kind of take up a position near the railing, maybe steady my hand, and see if I can get some sort of aim on the guy with the submachine gun.
Okay.
And that's what I'll do with the rest of my turn. Who is that? Is it Stanley?
Stanley McGarvey.
So, yeah, I'll be looking for him.
Okay. Rob.
Yeah, I'll take another shot
Okay.
at him. No bonus this time. It's just not happening. Never been in a gunfight before.
It's different.
Not the same. Not like punching somebody. That's it for me.
Okay. So now you didn't automatically, right? I still got to choose. All right. Never mind. Okay.
Well, the way that dodging works, and this is my reading of it, of course, for firearms, is it's not like dodging melee, right? If they choose to dodge against a firearm attempt and they succeed, they apply a penalty to the attacker's roll.
Okay.
But if they do choose to do that, then they sacrifice their next turn by basically hitting the dirt, going for cover,
Yeah.
right? In melee, it doesn't work that way at all. You get as many dodges as you want. They get harder and harder to do the more attacks that come against you, right?
Yeah.
So that's been my read of it over the years. And as far as I know, they don't track attacks for melee penalties like ranged ones, since you're not defending against them unless you are dodging.
Yeah.
It's not like impacting your ability to defend against melees because you're not factoring in that bullet that's about to hit you, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's been my adjudication. So
Okay. So you fire at this guy and miss, and he seems to take stock of what's going on, and he dives into that truck and scoots over to the driver's seat, and he starts trying to get the truck started.
right.
And Tony, it'll be your turn now.
All right, I'm going to try and go at this guy again.
Nice.
Oh,
There
Extreme
you go.
success.
don't forget your check mark.
Well, who are you going at? That guy's dead.
Oh,
Oh
he
yeah,
killed him?
Roland ran
Oh,
off
shoot. Okay.
in a weird way, and Stanley's in the car.
It'd
Yeah.
be the guy in the truck. Yeah.
I'll start heading. Well, now I'll start working that bolt, trying to get it loose. This turn.
because Oscar John Wick like melee
Yeah.
gun food him.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're going to straighten out your rifle so it's usable.
I have a very particular skills that are highly important to a writer of Americana.
Okay, Oscar.
All right, I'll take aim at the guy in the truck.
Yeah, so let's
Yeah, I
get the
know
range
Oscar.
here.
He's a hell of a writer.
I
So-
can write my name in the walls.
Chicago type writer.
That's yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Was that 5 shots in your shotgun?
Yeah, well, it's like, it says only 2, but Brandon said it was a
Well, if it's lever, you're doing
Lever action.
Lever
Yeah.
action. How many did you pick a particular gun?
5.
5. Okay. Because that's what I did. It was so easy to make gun stats for this game. Because
Yeah.
all you really needed was the magazine capacity, and
All right.
you could tweak the damage a little bit.
So I will. What do I think my? I take it he's beyond point blank.
He is.
Okay.
He's also partially concealed, being in the cab of that
All right,
truck.
so penalty die.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll take one shot at him. 61.
Okay. So
That other one was a 10. You robbed me of this, Brandon. I'll never forget it.
would have been.
yeah, regular success. Well, yeah. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
All right.
Nice. Good one.
Yeah. So you're not sure exactly where. Somewhere in the upper torso, but your bullet slams into this guy. You can see him react to it as he's trying to get that truck started.
His abdomen.
Yeah. Okay. So
And then Rob.
Yeah.
So now you actually have a little bit better view of him now than you did before because the driver's side is facing you.
right.
You know, so he's in the driver's side now, so you can see him through the window.
Yeah. Did I see it? Do I have the battle mind to pick out that he got
Yeah,
shot?
yeah, you can definitely tell he got shot.
Well, I'll start moving closer to him. I'll risk it. And I'll keep my gun there. I'll just be aiming as I'm walking towards him, and I'll just be yelling, probably inarticulately. I'm going to try to play up the fact that I've never been in a gun battle before,
Yeah,
and I'll just be like, you get out of there. Yeah. So that's very inarticulate commands.
okay.
Like, don't shoot, you get out of there.
put it down. Drop it.
But I suppose my action will be to aim
Yeah,
and move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drove
all right. So there's not any indication that he's actually even heard you.
Okay.
And he does get that truck fired up, and he hits the gas and starts moving down the driveway there. Tony.
All right, is that rifle sorted out now?
Yeah, you could take a shot now. You'd have,
is he silhouetted in the window or in maybe
Yeah,
a tire?
You'd have a penalty if you wanted to shoot him.
What about a tire?
You wouldn't have a penalty. Well, it is small, so you'd have a penalty. It's
I
a
thought
small
this was like
target.
a kind of a moving truck thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no,
yeah.
no. Sorry.
This
the
is just
truck,
a regular vehicle?
Yeah, the truck is
Yeah, I'll-
moving, but it's not a moving truck, no. But the tire itself is small, so if you
I'll
wanted to,
try to do it. How do you add a penalty?
Down at the bottom.
the bottom left,
Yeah. There's 1p, 2p,
yeah, so just do the 1P.
and then the other one's bonus. The ones above it. 1b, 2b. Huh?
See? Look at that.
Good one. Got it.
Okay. So yeah, you aim with this rifle and you shoot the tire.
If there needs to be damage, do you have that, Chris?
There doesn't.
That's what he would have got, though.
Yeah. so-
And I shot the truck in the left
arm. What is that, your third shot?
Yeah, that would be third. Well, I guess two.
One
because
two
I
and
didn't.
one malfunction.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oscar, your move now. So yeah, you can see clearly that tire was hit, but he's still moving. So
Do I got a shot at him?
yeah, it'd be a penalty.
All right. Yeah, let's take it. 49.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if he doesn't dodge.
Yeah. Well,
Right arm.
He gut shot him again.
yeah, he does not dodge.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, you take aim with your pistol and you fire off another shot, and you can hear the sound of the glass breaking. And then Rob, you can actually see as he starts taking off down the road, you can see him like jerk and then lean forward on the steering wheel.
Yeah. I'll see if I can't. I mean, it looks like he's done for, so I'll see if I can't stop that truck from rolling. If it's possible. If it looks like it's just going to result in it banging into a tree or something, I won't worry about it.
No, there's nothing but open field ahead of it. You can see it's already starting to veer to the left, but there's nothing but open field there until you get to the road.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'll let it go.
You could try and
Does Roland come running out
it
of
can
the
roll all
field?
the way? Well, yeah, I'll stop it. I'll try it. What do you want from
Yeah,
me?
I mean, it is
I'll
still
try
moving. He's got
anyways.
his foot on the gas, so you'd have to do a dex.
Okay, I haven't done training in a while, but
Let's say a hard dex.
we will see what we can do here. That's not going to be good. Never liked the jogging part.
It must have been
$10.
that cigarette.
Yeah, I guess I'll spend it. Maybe I shouldn't have smoked that cigarette.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and spend
You
the-
would have succeeded if
10.
it hadn't been
Okay.
for that.
So you dart forward and you spring off of a parked car and you land on the running boards. And so there you are outside the truck, but you're able to get the door open and push him aside and
Yeah,
apply the brake.
Yep.
Okay.
and I'll put that Tommy in my inventory.
Okay.
Not really.
Well, that
player
deputy's
in me
going
will.
to come along and, well, you should.
Well, I don't know if we're going to be dealing with the local authorities on this one.
All right.
Well,
So there you
when he
are.
comes,
You're,
we'll probably need it.
You've brought the truck to a stop, and now pretty much the only sounds left is the pops from the fire that have started to consume
Yeah, I'll put that
Freddie Jensen's body.
shotgun over my shoulder and walk up. Not mad, but just because I'm hyped, try to figure out what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
What'd you guys see in there?
They've been.
Well, you'll see in a minute. But and at this point, I think we should go get that girl out of there.
I agree, and I think we shouldn't go back to town with her. I don't think there's any
No.
good that can come of it. Gonna have to go to the next town over and hope for better.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys
see if
missed
we
it.
could find some keys or for any of those vehicles out there.
I'll go check the room on the second floor.
There is one guy ran off, got away from us.
Yeah,
I'm not
he'll
one
get
for
his
following
comeuppance.
I'm not making any suggestions here, Mr. Herman, or nothing like that. I'm just letting you know there was one guy got away.
I ain't one for trekking at night. How about you, Tony?
I might be able to, but I think that they're pretty much done for once we get this lady over to some real authorities, rather than whatever the heck they got over here.
If we can find some keys to those cars out there, I say we split up again.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Okay. This will be a good place to stop for the session, and we'll pick it up here again next time.
All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Awesome,
Thank
man.
you, Brandon.
Thank
Good
you.
job, guys. That was good.
Let's see.
Always good to shoot.
Yeah, let's do our luck and skill rolls here.
Ah. All right.
Hey, I failed my luck.
Nice.
This has been a Deathwatch production. Thank you for listening.